All right, what up, guys? We are live. So we are back with an epic fucking panel. We got going in order Andy from Kill Your Inner Loser. We got Marcus from UMP and also Alex Lindbergh from UMP. I think this is the first time we've had this combination of people, so I'm excited to get into it. And we're going to really be talking a lot about our Tinder profiles, our dating profiles, and then we're going to be doing live Q&A, answering all your questions. I think this is going to be a massive, massive value stream. So, yeah, thanks. Thank you guys for all joining us. I'm excited to do this shit.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
That'd be fun.
For sure. I don't think even any introduction is necessary. I think everyone knows who you guys are, so we can just skip that mundane step. Why don't we just get right into the Tinder shit? So, I don't know. Who wants to go first? I guess I can do it too.
Yeah,
I'll happily go first.
All right.
Yeah.
Pull it up.
All right. I will share my shit.
Okay.
You've just got to give permission. There you go. Yep. So that's my current profile. Abuse me, guys. Give me feedback.
I like the second one.
I like the second one too.
Can you zoom in on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that will do it.
Yeah, it's nice. That's nice.
I'm surprised you haven't had any issues with Tinder from that.
Yeah.
No, so I got my Tinder banned at some point, but all you have to do is email them and basically say like, yo, hey, how come you banned my Tinder? And then they fuck around for a little bit and you keep escalating it. And then at some point they just restore your Tinder. So my girlfriend's had that happen as well with her account. She finds women for us to sleep with together and hers is pretty sexual like this. She's had the same thing. She just emails them and says, hey, why'd you ban my account? And then they unban it like 2 weeks later. So
that's interesting. I've tried emailing Tinder so many times. They have never once responded to me. Maybe it's
what I found is if you specifically say, tell me specifically which rule I broke and how. And so don't go in there, big dick saying, hey, you got to restore my account. Just say like, hey, I accept that you banned my account. Fair enough. Tell me what specifically I did wrong. And then just 2 weeks later, they just say, hey, no, you didn't do anything wrong. You're unbanned. So
interesting. Oh, this guy said report. I don't know if he's trolling or not, but that's pretty funny. Report Tinder to the Better Business Bureau. They reinstated me. I'm gonna have to give this a shot. I've had so many issues with them. But yeah, so obviously this is a threesome profile, right?
Yeah, looking for, my bio basically says looking for women that want to be into or want to explore BDSM and threesomes with my girlfriend and I.
And
That's
also,
like
we got a
literally
photo for a gangbang with the bros as well.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
if anyone wants to come and have a little bit of fun there, yeah.
If you're into a different
I don't swing that way, but I'll happily watch.
I like the first photo. I like the second photo. Although the only downside with them is that you're wearing like pretty much the same outfit. And it's like back to back. So I might space those out like maybe a little bit, like one by one.
Yep.
But actually, I think the second one is probably my favorite photo. The second one is just definitely catches the person's attention the most. So I might personally swap second and first. I don't know, but I would play around with that and then zoom out for a second. Third one is solid. Fourth one is good given the context. It would be like, I think for some profiles it would be a little too intense. But given the fact that you're going for like the Dom BDSM angle, I think it's good. It's also kind of counterbalanced for the fifth photo. So
I think I want to reshoot both of those now that you say that. And I've been thinking this for a while. Like this one here on the left looks way too aggressive to me. I'd rather that like in a suit or something, a little more casual, maybe like at a cocktail bar or something. And then this one, I think I look gay as fuck in that one. Like I look like a fucking retard with my mouth half open, but it's trying to get across that I do podcasts and
yeah, it looks like you're in Joe Rogan.
Yeah, it's a
positive. That was
that photo. I wouldn't worry too much about it. You could get a better expression, but I think it actually looks more authentic, to be fair.
The fourth one can easily be fixed also. If you send me this photo, I can fix it in 30 seconds of Face App. Yeah. You can change your facial expression, all that. Yeah, I can fix that in 30 seconds for you.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, so I don't know. I personally wouldn't do this photo, but I've never been big on like bro photos.
Yeah, same. I'm not a big fan of this. I mean, it's like a bad angle. Your friends all look awkward posing and shit. Like it just to me, you're only as good as like your weakest photo a lot of the time, right? So this isn't really adding anything to your profile. Like I'm sure girls know that you have friends, and it's like this is a very good like indication. So I'd either look to get a much better like social pic or just remove it altogether, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Yeah, it was kind of thrown in there of like, I got to show that I have friends. Let me just throw something in there.
Yeah.
I think that's a misconception, though. I disagree with this logic. People always ask me this, like, "Oh, do I need to have a photo with friends?" But I've never used a photo with friends, and I have so many clients I never have. I don't think you need. I mean, if you're going for the threesome thing, you obviously need to show that you have girls. But if you're just a regular profile, you don't need to actually have photos with people. I've never used them unless I was going for the threesome profile. It's always been good. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I feel like
I
it's
agree with
overrated.
that. I agree. Like I've never had any like bro photos.
I think once you can kind of show that you've got two girls on a leash, these girls are going to assume that you have the social skills to have a couple of mates. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I've ever met a dude that's really good with women.
It's like you're
that is like can't
overqualified
make friends. You know? Yeah. It's like, I just don't think it's necessary. I don't think
you live at
anyone's
home with
sitting there
mother's
thinking,
bait.
I don't think this. Yeah.
I don't think it's helping you. It could potentially be hurting you. Let's zoom out a little bit more, or go scroll down, I guess.
This is good feedback, by the way, guys. I appreciate this.
Okay. Honestly, dude, here's what I would do if I was you. I would just take out the last 4 photos. I don't know why people like. I feel like some people feel like they have to have all 9 photos, but you actually just need to have like more than 4. If you're more than 4, you're good. And you are like you've already at this point like shown the girl exactly. So with every single one of these photos, you're taking the chance of showing her something that she's not going to like, right? So I mean, I don't think the 7th photo, the one with the leaves, is hurting you in any way. But it's like I don't think it's adding much either. Potentially, the last photo, I'm not really sure what that is. Are you like taking a shit in like camo or what's going on?
So
it looks like it's made by AI.
No, that's me. I covered an entire room with newspaper and then covered myself in a newspaper suit and sat down to read the newspaper.
I don't know if I would use that because I feel like with some girls they're gonna give like the Jeffrey Dahmer vibe. You know, it's like, oh shit, is this guy gonna do that with my skin? Like, what is this bodies? Like, you know, so I don't know.
Not on the first date. I wouldn't do that on the first date.
I would honestly, like, if I were you, I would just delete the last 4 photos. I think that would be like an improvement, honestly.
Yeah,
and,
you think that's still a tight enough photo profile?
Definitely.
First 5?
I typically only use like 5 or 6 photos. I never do 9.
Yeah, I'll play around with it. I'll let you know how it goes.
Let's take a look at the bio next.
Let me see if I have that. Okay, I just have to stop sharing and then reshare.
Yeah, for sure.
Done.
Okay. Much more fun than turning the lights out. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I'll take care of the rest of it, sir. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I think the only thing that's kind of missing is talking about the threesome thing. I don't know. I would probably like just address it with one line.
Yeah, I think I actually have a more up-to-date bio than this because for full context, I don't use Tinder all that much anymore. Like I'm basically not using it at this point. My girlfriend does. She brings in girls for us. And in hers, it's much more explicit. It's like, yo, we're in an open relationship. We're looking for girls to explore BDSM with us. We're good at teaching. We'll teach you.
Yeah, I started actually copying and pasting that when I remember when I asked you privately about that. It's been working pretty well.
Yep.
We met up with a few girls in that profile, so shit works.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'd really want to ask myself here what you're trying to convey. Because in your photos, what I'm picturing is this very dominant, experienced man that is into BDSM and likely has a girlfriend and does threesomes, and that's what you're looking for. But yet in your first line, it comes across as like a little bit too playful and jerky for me in this sense, right? Like I'd be 6'5", wearing heels. All of this is like very jerky and playful. What I'd rather do is set up the value there. As Alex said, like, okay, we're looking for threesomes. This is my girlfriend. I'm a BDSM coach. Sure, like, you know, I teach things around that. And then have a couple of lines around trust that may be a little bit more playful and can like lighten the mood a little bit. You know, it's Alex always likes using cuddling and shit like that, right? So you could be like, I hope you're as good as cuddling as my girlfriend or some shit. I don't know if that's the best line, to be fair, but you could basically have the authority and then have some trust afterwards. Being a little bit like too playful, I feel kind of ruins the image. Like I'm looking at you in the photos like, fuck, this guy's gonna destroy this third goal. And then in this, I'm like, he's gonna rock up in heels or some shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
so it's a little bit incongruent.
That's what I was thinking, because you're going for the entire like BDSM theme on the profile. So if you see this with heels, they could think you have like a cross-dressing kink or something.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
I agree with all that. Yeah.
Kind of, it is a little incongruent. I like that light blindfolds are much more fun than turning lights off. I use that in mine. I got that from you. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I'll take care of the rest. That's okay. I would probably just put that in the end. But yeah, I think I would like outline the value proposition near the top. I would say I would first of all leverage that you're a dating coach. So I'd say 6'2", sex and dating coach, right? Like right at the very top. And then line below that, I would say like, my girlfriend and I are into BDSM, and kind of like you said, like you talked about another body, and we're very good at teaching it. Looking for a lucky girl to be our third, or I don't know, something along the lines of that. And then maybe I would give like a little bit of a lighthearted about me, kind of like you do business owner, have an apartment, blah blah. That's all fine. That would be kind of how I would structure it, probably.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I agree with all that.
Cool. But yeah, overall, I think, what would you guys rate this profile overall if you had to put a number on it?
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Definitely above average.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could give you an arbitrary number, maybe like a 7 or an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Yeah, like a 7 out of 10. I think if you make the changes though that I recommended, it would be like an 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, I think we could, like, I've had this discussion with my assistant coach before. We've done a video exactly like this, critiquing my profile. I think this could be a fucking 10 out of 10 profile. Like, if I went to a cocktail bar and was in a suit, if I took some photos on a yacht and like hired some models or something, like draped over me, or just took some of the girls that we're seeing out there, I think you could really skyrocket this. I think at this point it's,
for sure. Also, something I think would be good. So you could have like each like sexual value proposition in your photos. So for example, Marcus here, he has a photo where he's holding like a rope because he's really into shibari. So that is something that you could throw in, like actually having like your props or whatever in the photo. Like you guys will see later, Mark, he has like a photo with all of his fucking, not all of his toys because he's got like a fucking suitcase, but like the key ones, they're like laying like beautifully on the table and shit. So that's
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I used to do that, but that photo just kept getting taken down from Tinder, so I stopped doing it. Like,
that's fine.
Okay, maybe it will. I just created it last night, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I used to do that all the time, actually.
Yeah,
that shit is good. That definitely works.
Let me know if it stays up. I'd be curious to see. Maybe I'll revisit that. This was a few years ago.
If it's up, I'll use your photo.
Let's I don't know. I guess I can do mine next, and then we'll move on to Marcus and Alex. All right, let me share my screen. This is a slightly older variation, but I'll just explain what I've changed. Okay, so this is basically the photos. Here's what's different. I don't use the third photo anymore, and this photo got bumped a little bit further down. I use some of my newer photos from Instagram, my Instagram app. So anyway, so here's the I guess now what would be the second photo. Here's a shirtless selfie. Here we have this one I swapped out for I think a better one. Barbecuing photo, wine photo, motorcycle photo, and Rhaegar photo. So
yeah.
What do you guys think?
Nice.
What jumps out to me immediately, dude, is like they're sick photos. They're just taken with a crappy quality camera. Like if you just paid someone to take decent photos, like they look a bit ghetto taken from your smartphone, but they're fucking sick photos.
I'm trying to think. So this one was taken by a professional camera for sure. This was when I was in Poland. So this was professional camera, amateur. Yeah, mostly it's amateur.
I think the amateur ones look better.
Oh, I don't know. I think some do. Like the barbecue one looks great. I think the bicycle one, for example, that's a good representation of the low quality like camera in play. I think, right? Like it's just it feels like it's bad lighting. I don't know if it actually is, but it might just be the camera not picking up the light that well. because I think you could get like a fucking sick photo like that with your dog on a black. But yeah, to me, it just feels, I agree, like a little bit low quality.
Yeah. Let me actually show you what some of the other photos I've changed out now.
Are you going to put a photo of like you and Natty? Because like you guys have some photos where you both look amazing together.
We do have that. Yeah, that's a different profile though. I can show that too. I just want to show.
Are you doing 2 profiles?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Wait, I need to go back to
Say this when she's not into hookups. Goodbye.
switch. Letting me log in. Just search for myself. Okay, there we go. By the way, Marcus, the Instagram verification thing made it to the US.
Ah, nice, man.
All right, so
that kind of sucks though for me, because all my American girls thought I was like fucking famous or some shit.
I know. I made a video talking about how I mean, I don't know why they did that, because the whole point that people want to get verified is because it's exclusive. But if you take away the exclusivity, that takes away the whole point. So I don't really know why they did that.
I like that photo with the dog and the glass of wine.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That looks solid.
It's a pretty decent one. I played around with using that.
Might not crop well on Tinder.
This is the one that I would use for the threesome profile. One of the ones I would use. Okay, so this is one of the photos that I've swapped it out with.
That's much better.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
go up a bit. What's that one? It's slightly up, and it's on the right hand side there with like there's women on the couches and stuff like that.
No, this one I did a podcast of Valuetainment. But this one crops really bad for
it doesn't crop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Just do what boomers do on dating apps.
Good DHV, if you could put it.
Yeah, I've tried, but yeah, it crops so weird. It would just be like, because the real DHV would be like this chick, because that's Nikki Benz, right? No one knows who the fuck this chick is. I should have like insisted that like I switch spots with this guy. Be like, hang on. For this photo, let's switch spots because I'm gonna try.
Exactly.
We probably got some dude with amazing Photoshop skills in the comments.
Oh fuck yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yeah,
just get AI to do it.
Or something. Yeah.
This is probably the one I typically use. Is either my first or second nowadays. It's probably one of my better photos.
The eye contact is good in the photo.
That's basically it. Everything else would be the same.
I think definitely use that that one with the blurry background that looks so amazing there.
This one, yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. Yeah, I use that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go back to my. Okay. But yeah, do you guys have any other thoughts before we move on to the bio?
Not really. Yeah, I think it's good photos if you just up the quality. I think.
Can you go through it just once again? Just scroll through really quick.
Yeah, sure. So this is typically my second now. That one with a drink would be my first. This would be my second. This one I still keep in there. This one I removed. This one is in there. This one's in there. This one I go back and forth between using or not using. I'm actually leaning towards not using it. And then this one I always have a dog photo in there.
So the photos from Instagram, how do you feel like they were working when you put them on your profile?
I think they helped. I think they definitely made a difference. Yeah. I think that having
I would imagine that. Yeah.
Two really solid photos balanced out with some more like amateur photos. Like I think if it's like all professional photos, that can actually be disadvantaged in some ways as well, because the girl just thinks you're trying too hard. But you do need a professional photo to like really highlight your features. So I think the magic is when you have some professional and some amateur photos. I think that's the way to go. I think even like having like one selfie in there is good to kind of like counterbalance the professional I'm trying hard aspect, you know.
Or even catfishing. Like I think if you just have all professional, like if you don't have your Insta linked or anything like that, I think sometimes girls might think they're over edited or catfish. That's something also to be careful.
Yeah, from time to time.
Like one of the.
Yeah.
I hate it. And they just think you're too good to be true.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I copied this from you. At least I did at the time. I don't use this anymore, but I was trying.
So you guys can grow him for that bio now too.
It's funny. I changed it now to just says 6-0, and then I just say what what's it called, Miami in here because there's a lot of tourists in Miami. So I want to make it clear that like I'm living here and not visiting. Also, I have like sexologists in here, so a lot of girls will talk about that. But then the rest is like basically, I mean, this one I also got from you, Andy, and this one, but this part is like kind of mine. It's a little bit too much of a clusterfuck though. Now I think that my more recent bio would be a little bit shorter. I think I would just take away those last parts, the PS. Don't be afraid to say hey, and put this blindfolds are much more fun, and put that as the PS. So I think it's a little too long right now.
I like it. What I'm thinking is when it comes to the sexual value there, everything is around dominance. So I'm thinking if some girls are going to be intimidated by that, but now you're in Miami too, so I don't think too many girls are going to be intimidated by that. It's more like if you're here in Europe with like a lot of like inexperienced girls and shit, it's completely different like sex culture like here in Europe and here in the US. Like in US, people are way more open and way more aware. But if I was in another place, then I would want to put something that the girls who are intimidated by BDSM could relate to.
Lindbergh, you mean Eastern Europe, right? Because I know like Scandinavia and Western Europe is probably more open about sex than like America, right? You're talking about like Eastern Europe, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
More like Eastern Europe. Yeah.
No, that's for sure. Yeah. Eastern Europe. Yeah. They are kind of a little bit closed off.
Yeah. Or
like
any conservative country. So it could be even like some countries in like Southern Europe. So like Croatia, essentially like any Catholic country.
Yeah.
I feel like this could come in handy.
East and South. Yeah. Like I know in like Sweden, you can be like autistically sexual and be like, hey, I have a big dick and I'm going to fuck you. It's like,
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. Any other thoughts before we move on to the next one?
No.
That's good.
No, it's good to me.
That looks good. Yeah.
I like to also like throw in the dog stuff because I feel like that counterbalances kind of what you were talking about. Like, oh shit, this guy
100%.
is like too intense. But then like this photo in here just takes away, I don't know, provides. I feel like this photo in of itself just provides massive amounts of comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like if you basically what you're trying to avoid there, like what I'm hearing you say is like, I just want to avoid looking like creepy. You know what I mean? Looking like a weird sex pervert who doesn't understand social skills. And the word creepy just means you're not normal. And so all you're really trying to get across is I'm just a normal dude. Like Marcus, I'm sure you'd have a lot to say about that with like BDSM and stuff. Chicks just want to make sure you're a normal human being.
Yeah, normal, but also I think there's an other element to that also you might be accommodating to girls that are inexperienced and don't.
Yeah,
for example, they might see you as normal, but see you up here and be like, fuck, man, like I'd love to be with this dude, but I'm just worried. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. So I think softening in that way is also like important. But yeah, agree.
That's kind of what the last line in there is for. That's why I put that in there. Alex has the same line. If you look at it, don't be afraid to say, hey, I'll take care of the rest. So many women reach out and say, hey, you said you'd take care of the rest. And then you say, have you ever tried BDSM? No, I have no idea what it is. Cool. Like, here's what we're going to do. We'll go grab a drink. We'll grab a coffee, whatever. Yeah.
Dude, this comment is fucking has me dying. This is gonna sound gay, but it's true. Alex isn't worried about catfishing women because his dick is huge. Devin said this is on his side. I don't know what evidence he's talking about. I don't have any dick pics on my website.
I didn't put any dick pics either on my website.
You guys don't have dick pics on your website. Get dick pics on your website.
That's fucked up.
You cannot see my penis on my website. I promise you that. So I don't know where this idea came from, but
no, you gotta sign up. Once you're a member, they just get free access to dick pic, guys. Go.
Mate, like when you sign up to Alex's like email list, bro, it's like every week is a dick pic, and you're just like, I've unsubscribed, and it's like they just keep coming.
Yeah, that's great.
Just a never-ending supply. Yeah.
They're not even his dick, bro. He just fucking sends you guys.
Yeah, one of them was like black and shit. It's like, how the fuck did that happen? Yeah. All right, cool. Who wants to go next?
Alex, you want to go next, bro?
He's left. He's evacuated.
Oh, okay. I'll go. I was looking for my fucking one of my photos, but I'll go. Let me find my profile. All right.
It's also so funny to see, like, we're giving like a massive value stream and like half the chat is bickering amongst each other about like random YouTube drama. You said this. Go.
The priorities fucked up. The priorities way fucked up.
Dude, this is straight up the drama sphere, man. I'm telling you.
Maybe I'll go back so you can actually see one by one. All right, so this first photo.
Okay.
Look at this
Second
handsome
one's
motherfucker.
Third.
The coach angle. Okay.
Fourth.
Wait, did you actually? How the fuck did you do that?
Skills.
Skills. I used to juggle fire. So if you just pop a bunch of like kerosene in your mouth and spit it out, you get a fireball.
Good.
Kids, don't try that at home.
What's that? Oh, it's just
What's
like,
that?
Yeah, so it's pretty dark. So this is the old photo of toys. I think you're right, Alex. I think I may have gone through some variations. This is the last one I had up on Tinder. So because I think it's like a little bit hard to make out. I think that
I think
saves
it's
me
a little
from,
too dark, man.
saves
Almost
me
looks
from
like
getting
a
banned.
little bit
but
on
yeah.
the, like the sinister side, I would probably
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I like every single one of these photos except for the second one.
This one.
Yeah, it just like your facial expression on this. The lighting isn't hitting your face well, and your facial expression looks a little like awkward. It can probably be fixed with Face App, or I'm not sure though because it's a weird angle. But that's the only one that I would remove. But everything else is completely on point.
Cool. Yeah, I might try Face Up this. I think on my Insta actually.
Yeah, maybe
I think I may have Face Upped it.
They're saying in the chat to move the window because of your phone number.
I wrote that in the
Move
chat,
my
in the
window?
private chat.
Yeah.
Talking to me.
Read the private chat I just sent you.
Oh shit! I just realized that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's my number. If you guys want to message me, go for it.
Yeah,
It's a little bit too late
actually,
now.
fuck it.
Send dick pics. How the fuck do I?
We're just hear Marcus's phone going off nonstop. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can see. Oh wait, share this tab instead. So this is Insta. I don't know. If it's a little better or not.
It just, I think. Feel free to just message me this photo. I think I might be able to fix it, but I think the issue is the lighting isn't ideal, but the real issue is kind of like the facial expression on it. Like for whatever reason, it looks like your lips are like just spread out a little bit. I mean, it's not a horrible photo. I just think it's like not as good as your other ones. Go back to your Instagram.
Yep.
more feedback on that rope one, man. Like, I feel like the ropes aren't apparent. Like, it's not
Like
clear
the
what
one,
you're doing.
like you got some good photo. Like the top right. Open that photo.
I like the top right.
Yeah, that is a solid photo. I would definitely.
That's
use
a sexy little bitch. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. You got my number now, Andy. So feel free.
It's actually taken in my apartment, by the way.
Yeah, it's true. It's Alex's place. I also have I got a couple of other ones as well. I just need to find them. There's actually, you reminded me, Alex, of your one on the bike. I have one on a bike, so I'll need to find them and pop them up. But yeah, maybe I'll chuck this one in then.
Yeah, that one's solid. Scroll down a bit also.
Oh yeah. I don't really have much on here.
Well, the public speaking ones.
Oh wait, go back. Some of those outside ones are cool.
Yeah, you have some dope options.
Dude, you got tons.
Yeah. I mean, the fire breathing is great. The overall, the Instagram also itself is really solid because it looks like gives off a very like fun type of vibe. And this is a really good Instagram. Just scroll down for a second, one more time. Sorry. Okay, right here. Yeah. So the public speaking ones, I think I don't remember which one you used, but the one like the left.
This one.
I would use the one on the left.
Okay.
That one is just, I think, a lot better. Yeah, that is like dope. I would definitely go with this one.
Cool. Awesome. All right, I'll sort them out.
But yeah, I think that with those changes, this would be like I would say like an 8.5 out of 10 profile. Like it'd be really solid for sure.
Cool. Amazing.
Can you go through the pictures like one more time?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I would swap the this public speaking one.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, and the rope one, like I said, it's not super apparent that that's what you're doing. Like when I first glanced at that, I couldn't see the rope. Like it doesn't jump out at you.
Yeah.
I have a question. Why do you misspell sex? Is it like an algorithm thing? Like you're worried you're going to be a shadow banned, or?
Yeah. That's what I'm worried about because I've been banned before. From having like sexual shit in my bio, I believe. So creating it last night, I wasn't sure. I just didn't want it fucking banned between last night and today when we had to stream. But if you guys have written sex and shit in there before and it's fine, I'll just change it.
So I think the beginning of this bio is like really good. It's like 6'1", You're giving your height, international sex coach and podcaster, pronouns daddy, sir, master, right? So it's like you combine each of these with humor. But then it kind of becomes a little bit of a clusterfuck as we go down. Unusual skills. What are 3 things you can take on music? I don't know.
Right, I feel like you could take out the quotes, like just have the answers, like don't have the questions. You know what I mean? Then it would be more concise.
Yeah. Good point. We were fucking around with it yesterday. So this is the first time I've ever used this bio. So yeah, we're fucking around with it yesterday. What I was thinking, like the theory behind this, which I agree, it might be a little clusterfucky. The theory behind it was, I think it's a little bit easier to like DHV and brag if it feels like it's like a question asked. But yeah, it might be just a little bit too messy and not helpful.
I don't see that as bragging though, man. Like nothing you've put in there is bragging.
Yeah, nothing here is bragging. Just like your interest and shit.
Yeah.
If anything, the only part that could be considered bragging is at the top, where you're like international sex coach. I don't think it's bragging. I'm just saying that's the only part that could be interpreted that. But everything else, it just seems like facts about yourself. Like you have a sense of humor, you like to travel, you like techno, you're into shibari. Yeah. If you structure that a little differently, I think it would be a lot cleaner.
Bro, do you have any pictures of you free diving? I just saw that on there.
Not good ones, but you can easily just fucking find some off the internet that look like me. So I could do that.
So I feel like you could get a sick photo, like down underwater in some underwater cave or something. You're like kind of diving down. You get something really cool.
Yeah. No, you can find some sick photos.
Do you ever slide into girls' DMs?
Instagram, you mean?
Yeah.
Very, very rarely. To be honest, like this last few months, I've been completely off online dating apps because I've just been working on the product for the sex coaching. But so very rarely am I even on online dating. The only time I'm sliding into DMs is I was gonna say it's all social circles. So just like this weekend, for example, I was at a party and like I will just like friends of friends hit up and like slide into DMs that way. But other than that, not really.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because your Instagram is pretty solid. Like I would say that with this Instagram, you could definitely like if you wanted to get a good amount of girls interested. Like I would say your Instagram is probably better than my Instagram because I think I might have like slightly better photos, but you have like way more like cool type of activities. And I think that's really what Instagram is like lifestyle. What is this guy's lifestyle? That's like the main value proposition. Well, that and his looks, but like it's like, oh, this guy looks like he has a cool lifestyle. He's fucking breathing fire. He's scuba diving. He's traveling. Like that's all like pretty things that are going to be like fucking crack for girls.
Yeah.
Have you linked your Instagram?
I haven't linked it just because I've been banned before. I don't know if it was linked before.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes difference. But I've just put my name down the bottom, like the Insta down the bottom.
I mean, I think that works honestly.
Yeah.
All right, should we move on to Lindbergh?
Yeah, just thanks for the feedback.
Yeah,
you just.
So let's see. Present, I guess. Share screen. Oh. Which one am I supposed to take? Present and
whatever format.
Oh. Now I've done this on StreamYard before.
Oh, just hit share the screen. Here, I'll stop. Just hit present at the bottom.
Yeah.
Just screen.
Will it give me an option to like crop the window or something?
I'm not sure, but you can just manually move the window around.
Okay, I need to give permission. Fucking Apple. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't actually been using dating apps that much recently either.
So I think I need to quit and reopen Chrome for this screen share to work.
Okay.
Maybe if you want, just take a photo of your profile, Alex, send it to me, and I'll screen share that. Maybe.
Oh yeah, that might be easier.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah. Okay.
Will the panel be speed dating each other tonight? We'll see how the night goes.
That's funny. Yeah, what do you usually use, Alex? Are you using Tinder mostly when you do use apps, or you a bit of a mix?
I've kind of been in a similar boat as you, where I've been mainly focused on working for the last few months. So I have about a year ago, I decided to outsource my dating apps to like various assistants. So I have them try to run my apps for me. But the unfortunate part is that a lot of them just like keep fucking up. So, and there's also like just miscommunication that happens a lot. So I'm starting to take some control back because I feel like I kind of have to in order to get results. But yeah, I alternate between Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. I'm just permanently banned from. I can't get back on. So unfortunately, even though I like Hinge, they want me back on. But Tinder, Bumble, Field, and some seeking here and there.
Okay, nice.
Do
How
you
do
do
you
seeking,
find
do you
Field
pay,
over
or do
there?
you?
What?
Oh, sorry.
You go.
So how do you find seeking over there? I mean, Field. Sorry, Field.
Field is really hit or miss. Like it can get you really easy lays with pretty attractive girls, but it can also be just massive miss and miss and miss. So it's not really reliable, but it's a nice like little bonus to have on top. So I would never like primarily rely on Field, but it could be like a nice little like I don't know cherry on top, so as to speak.
How the fuck
When you're
do
on
you move
Seeking-
your screen?
When you're in seeking, Alex, are you paying, or are you saying to girls like, "Hey, I don't pay"?
No, I don't pay. I mean, I pay for the Seeking membership, which is $80 a month because you have there's no way around that. If you don't, you can't like read the messages. But no, I basically I frame it like, hey, listen, I know this website's mostly creepy old men. I'm not like that. I'm actually a cool guy who has good social skills, but I'm just really busy with work, which is kind of true. You know, I am pretty busy, and so I don't have time for normal dating. But really, I'm just looking to see, you know, meet a cool girl I have chemistry with, and then maybe later on, you know, if something happens, it happens. But first, I just really want to meet a girl I have chemistry with, and then we can discuss that stuff later. That's kind of how I frame it. I leave it like a little bit open ended, but I right away take away the money frame. Like, hey, like I don't do PPM. Like if you come over, you're not going to get paid at all. And for some girls, this is a deal breaker. Like 50% of girls are going to be like, no. But there's also going to be a good amount of girls who are just going to be like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah. Like as in, there's a bunch of girls that sign up, just kind of like seeing what happens, and then they see you. They're like, "Yeah, I'll meet this guy."
Yeah, there's four different types of girls on Seeking, right? The first is like the hardcore sugar baby / prostitute, and that's like 60% of girls on Seeking. And these girls, there's nothing you can do aside from giving them money, getting the fuck you. I've tried everything. I've tried crazy amounts of like frame control, and it's sometimes you get really close, but then their old hooker instincts kick in last minute and it doesn't go through. So those girls are the best thing to do to scoop out. The second girl is like the amateur sugar baby. So one of her friends is a sugar baby. She's thinking about it's her first time trying it. Those girls are very molding, right? Those girls you can definitely control the frame with. The third type of girl, and this is my favorite type, are the girls who read 50 Shades of Grey and I just want to have a sexual experience with an over-dominant man. Those are the easiest. And the fourth are the girls who are just looking to date a more successful guy. They don't want your money. They just want you not to be a loser. So you go for like the second, third, and fourth category.
I wonder if I should be on there then, like for the BDSM angle.
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the first photo.
It's actually my fifth photo because
Yeah,
of
I'll
I sent them in the wrong order. But this is the that's the
I'll
first.
start from the first. There you go.
Yeah, so that's the one. I have it on my Instagram as well. This is my first one.
Okay.
Yeah. Second.
Okay.
Oh fuck.
Third.
Okay.
4, 5.
Fuck.
I love that fourth one.
Yeah.
I just wish it was brighter. It's fucking amazing. It's just dark.
Dude,
Yeah.
I think
You could probably up the shadows in that. Just use Lightroom, Alex.
Yeah.
go
That's
go
a
to,
sick
the,
photo.
go to the last one, the absolute last one.
Yeah.
This is my favorite, honestly.
Yeah. Do you see? Do you like the thing I added in the middle?
I love it.
What am I
Yeah,
looking
so
for?
What am I
look at
missing?
The hole in
His,
the jeans.
his easy
I
access.
swear to God, it gets girls to open you about it all the time because
So
they want to give
funny.
you shit for it. So they all message you.
Wait, what am I looking for? I don't see anything.
Look
There's
Between
look
his
at
crotch.
my-
I
Look
don't
at
know
my
if you
thing.
see
At
my
his
mouse on
crotch.
screen.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
good.
They're all pointing it out.
He's disgusting
Sorry, did
with
you rip-
Alex. Let me think
yeah.
of one thing.
Please
So that was like a
get your-
deliberate strategy on your part.
Yeah,
That's fascinating. That is some advanced level
Yeah.
shit.
I just felt like I wanted to try it because I'm like, I saw someone have a photo like that, and I remember like I wanted to call that shit out. So I'm like, fuck, maybe I can use that. Let's see if it actually works, and let's see if it actually get responses. And yeah, it does like very, very often. So it's just it's just something easy for them to open you with. And I have a couple of like routines that I can use to like move that shit forward. you can make it pretty sexual pretty quick, obviously. And yeah, so that's the first photo. This one I get really good feedback on.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I think it's
Body language, I'm guessing. This one just looks, especially if you're in Europe, this looks DHV because they all know it's Florida. And Florida is like, if you're European, you think it just screams DHV basically.
Wait, how would they know that's Florida? That could be like Israel or anywhere where there's palm trees. How would they know?
It looks Florida. It looks Florida.
Alex
Yeah.
only dates
Maybe
professional
they don't know, like,
geoguessers.
maybe that's my perception. Maybe that's
Yeah.
my perception.
If you analyze the wood that's used in those chairs there, you can see that it is Florida.
Oh, no, actually, that's what I did on Instagram. I tagged the Florida on Instagram, but yeah, they can't see that on Tinder, obviously. Yeah.
So yeah,
Just
these are
put like text. Just hold a sign up saying this is Florida. Just put text
Yeah.
on the fucking photo.
Yeah, I should
these,
do that.
these are all individually solid photos. Like these are all great photos. The only issue is that they're too similar. Like 4 of the photos are you just sitting.
I agree.
I think
I
you need
agree.
to balance it out with like activity photos.
I'd
Yeah.
take that one out.
Yeah, I have a bunch of photos on my Instagram, which I don't want to use yet because I might want to use them on like a future account if I'm gonna like recreate anything. So these are all old photo shoots from like
Yeah,
2021.
because you have
early
go to your
2023.
Instagram. You have some good ones on there. I'd swap out with, and even just grabbing like
I'm gonna
a
use that later.
yeah, fair. But even using yeah, just getting like a fucking I don't know.
Yeah, the vibe is like, oh, this guy has a lot of
Yeah.
tattoos. He has good style.
That
You
guy,
really
is like,
walking,
that boy is 28. Oh, I'm
He just
29.
this man
Yeah.
loves to sit. He just
Yeah.
hates standing up.
He loves sitting.
Yeah, this is me.
Yeah, shit like this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Man,
I have
I like the
photos-
top. I like that one.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah, that
talking
one.
about subliminal photos.
Oh, that
Yeah. This one, yeah, like this is
the
probably
shadow placement.
Yeah, this is
so
probably
funny.
one of my best photos, but I want to save it for like a future profile because I've had this account for 4 years now. I probably want to reset later and like do a completely fresh reset. So that's what I'm saving the photos for, actually.
I know it's another sitting one, but this one looks good.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Why do you go for the short hairstyle? I'm just curious.
Well, my hair has been thin since I was like 15,
Oh, okay.
so that's why.
Gotcha.
Simple as that.
Yeah,
But
dude,
it's actually better now, so maybe I could grow it out again.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad. Like when I'm looking at you, like on the, I don't see any hair loss.
Yeah, you can see it if it's longer.
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
generally thinned out, right?
Yeah.
So when he does have longer hair, it almost looks like someone with like hair plugs, almost.
Hair
So
plugs
it
with
does. Yeah, it does look a lot better, short. But yeah, maybe your hair's healthier now that you're not so
Yeah.
fucking. Yeah.
Well, now I'm not fat anymore. Dude, I have a double chin in the photo. It's hilarious. This is the bio, by the way, that everyone's been
Can you
asking
zoom in
for.
on that?
Sorry, Alex.
Can you zoom in on that a little bit more? It's like,
Yeah.
Well, this is one of the bios that I'm using. So
Marcus,
obviously,
if you right-click-
different variations, right? So you can take out some of the questions and put something else depending on what you want to go for.
yeah. What's
If you right-click
what's you
Marcus
guys
and
this
just
kind of
open the
somewhat related question? How do you guys split test different things? Because the way I do it is I will just take like 5 or 10 girls I know, message them both things, and I'll be like, hey, which one of these bios do you prefer? And that's kind of how I'll split test. I guess the better way of doing it would be to have like 2 profiles. But I find sometimes that can be unreliable because like, I don't know, like the second profile, just whatever, doesn't get as much traction in the algorithm. So how do you guys split test your various ideas?
So it depends. Sometimes I might use something over a longer period of time. And if I put something in my bio, it's probably because I want to trigger them to say something or to comment on something. And if I notice that they never comment in the way that I want them to do, and I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to change something. Because I'm trying to add things that they could somehow bring up in the conversation. If they don't bring it up, then I'm like, okay, it could be effective, but they just don't bring it up. Like it still gives the value, but they just don't bring it up. Or it could be that they don't notice. So ideally, I want to get it in a way where they actually talk about it, because that's the only way I can really get the feedback if it works or not.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yeah, I like to rely on a lot of girls' feedback, like girls that I'm actually fucking and want to fuck. And I found that very helpful because I've had girls have been like, hey, I mean, I'm trying to think of like stupid shit I've had in my bio before, but either, okay, this says the exact same thing, you don't need it twice, or I think this is a bit arrogant, or I was like, yo, what did you first think? And sometimes girls are like, well, I was a little bit worried to come over because, yeah, it was a bit fucking extreme. So I think getting the girls' feedback of the type of girls you want to fuck, I think some of the problem is some guys just go to women and it's not actually the girls they want to be fucking. So if you're going to, you're fucking, I don't know, like a nursing home and asking women for feedback, or it's just not going to be very helpful.
Strong target audience.
Gladys, I need your opinion on my Tinder.
Exactly. Oh, it's such a nice Tinder. Yeah, nice. All right, how do I zoom in on this, Alex?
Just
Andy?
do if you have a
press
Mac,
control and like scroll. Should
Yeah.
work.
like use both
Okay,
fingers.
I got a fucking Windows, and when I do this, it doesn't fucking.
The opposite. Yeah.
Did you read what I wrote in the
this is
chat? If you right click on it, you should be able to go open image in a new tab.
Oh my man. Okay.
So work on Facebook.
9,300 matches. Sorry if I don't respond. 186 frequently asked questions. Are you always down? No, sometimes I like to cut off.
Hey.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
Boys. We
Tech
got it going.
nerds.
All right.
Okay, this is interesting because I would say that because you were Marcus, you were worried about your bio come off as bragging, but I would say,
I go all out. I go all out.
like this is
all out.
This is definitely
all out.
I feel like it works though because your photos are so edgy and you have that like cocky confidence, I don't give a fuck look.
Yeah,
so I think it does work.
They're expecting me to speak that way, basically.
Yeah,
Like
you sometimes see guys with this level of like confidence in their bio, but then their pictures of them like in a polo shirt, they're like a nice little boy, and it feels incongruent. I think yours works.
Yeah,
I mean, like the first one I like. Are you always dominant? No, sometimes I like to cuddle. That's good. How many orgasms do you typically give your girl? It depends. It could be 5 to 30 orgasms every day. I might like throw in a joke in there. It depends on the weather or something like that, just to kind of balance it out. How do you know? Because the best way to like balance out like bragging is with humor. How do I know you're not a serial killer? The security loaded is way too strict. What are you looking for? Depends on the girl. Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason I put the slot of 44 is because it's the most it's the best building in the country. So it's just a way to sneak that into the bio.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. And it's also like, it's also obviously like safety.
It's also a common concern. Yeah. I think what you did here is like those two, are you always dominant? And how do I know you're not a serial killer?
Yeah.
I think are two common objections you'll get from your photos and bio.
Oh, for sure. I
So
get
I
a
think,
lot
like,
of girls that are
dealing
like
with them.
intimidated. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty smart. I mean, the only thing I would change is for like it depends, could be 5 to 30 orgasms a day. I would just like add like some like little joke in there. Depends on the weather or something like that. I don't know, something like along the lines of that to just kind of counterbalance the bragging. But other than that, I think it's solid.
I'll think of something that could actually be good. Yeah.
Yeah, you
It
could
need
have
to
like
be
a
like
sexual joke
jokey in a
there still.
way that isn't, because you don't want it to come across that the 5 to 30 is a joke. So it needs to be like jokey in a way that doesn't take away from that, but also
Just say
it feel
5
like
if
you're not as
5 if she's
braggy.
say 5 if she's bad, 30 if she's a good girl, something like that.
That could work.
It depends. 5 on a bad day, 30 on a good day. I don't know, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
I'd put it on her
Yeah,
though,
very
especially if you're going dominant, so then she qualifies to you.
Yeah, I mean the good girl,
Like,
the
it
bad
depends
girl
on how well
always works. That's always like a good fucking angle. So I mean, I like that.
Oh, you know what could be? It depends. Could be 5 to 30 orgasms a day. Depends on if you're a good girl or not.
Yeah, okay.
I
I
like
like
that.
that. Yeah, that's good.
I'll go with that.
I like it.
Cool. All right, good shit. All right, so we just got through 4 Tinder bios. Hopefully, this gave you guys a lot of ideas for what to do with your Tinder. Dude, I'll do like these streams where I'll say like submit your Tinder bio and like I'll evaluate it, and it's like always the same mistakes.
Yeah.
It's just always like the same mistakes. So I don't know. I feel like sometimes like this stuff doesn't really resonate with people, no matter like how much you put it out there. I don't know. Hopefully, it's resonating with some people.
Yeah, I think people need to realize it makes such a huge fucking difference. Like when you get profiles that go from really shitty photos, bad subcoms, low quality, and then you just put a little bit of effort into it, get some nice photos, fix up your bio. The difference is incredible. Like, it is night and day. So I think if people just put the fuck it, because by the way, these are the same guys that are spending hours and hours and hours a day on Tinder, not getting any results. So it's like, if you just set it up properly and just put the time and effort into that first, it's crazy the ROI on that.
Yeah, well, they'll spend hours on Tinder and they'll spend hundreds of hours complaining on the internet. So yeah,
True. Yeah, that's probably.
I think they just
more
like
accurate.
to bitch and whine, to be honest. A lot of guys just like to
Yeah,
fucking
it's
complain
true.
about something.
Hmm.
There's a lot in the chat going on.
is looks for all in your top 5 all time now? It's obviously a troll question. No, actually, this kind of brings me up. So looks for all Marcus for some reason wants to do a pickup competition with you. I told him you're in Australia, but I don't know. Do you have any plans to come to America?
Yeah, man, we'll be there in June.
Yeah, June, July.
Yeah, I did offer it to him. I don't know if he was that keen though, because he came on one of our live streams and we were chatting and breaking down from your competition. And yeah, I did suggest I was happy to do a comp or meet him over there and do some game. I don't know how keen he was, to be fair, but if he's down, I'm down.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
If someone knew all the theory out there was not to use any service product, what game plan would you advise for the individual to go out alone, become advanced? I'll let you guys answer this.
Fuck it. I mean, if he knows all the theory, he should be able to figure that out. If he really knows all the theory.
Yeah, the biggest thing if you're not using any product or service is you need external feedback, because you don't know everything. Like, even if you know the theory, like, you don't know what you're applying right or wrong, right? So you need some type of external feedback. The best external feedback is coaching, but otherwise ask the girl, right? Like, after every interaction or after every time you sleep with someone, just ask her for feedback, right? What worked, what didn't, what was your perception of me, blah, blah. And that's how you're going to become more advanced. But I mean, yeah, I just take coaching.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Like, if you spend all the time going through learning all the theory, you could have just worked those hours even at fucking Walmart and just bought a couple hours of coaching and fucking saved hundreds of hours.
Or you could have gone outside and talked to 100 girls and you would have figured out some of that stuff as well. Like, let's not forget that you have to actually put this in practice. If someone came to me and said, hey, I know all the theory on the entire internet on talking to women, I'd be like, why the fuck haven't you spent at least 50% of that time talking to some women then? Like, you didn't need to learn everything.
Let's be real. 90% of this community does not actually go out there and talk to girls.
True.
The unfortunate reality.
Do you reckon that's your community, or do you reckon that's just like are you saying men in general, or are you saying playing?
I think the pickup community in general.
Probably.
Maybe it's not.
It's really shocking, actually, how few people actually go out consistently.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
Because you get that dopamine feedback when you listen to the podcast. You're like, look, I'm learning. I'm learning pickup.
Like,
I'm talking to women.
I'm getting better. I'm learning. I'm not fucking doing anything.
How do you know you've gone too far in polarizing with the BDSM stuff? What do you guys think?
When you start getting like, okay, so I would say it could be in a lot of different ways, but I feel like if it's in your bio, I mean, you could see, like, are you actually getting fewer matches, or are you getting the type of feedback where girls are saying, oh, I just read your bio, and then you like lose compliance. That could be like a good way to gauge that. But if it's in your conversations, you can see if you're getting negative reactions when you bring it up, or how they respond to your BDSM sexualization in general.
I think also, another part of this. Oh, sorry, go, Annie.
I was going to say, I also think, because you use the word polarizing there, like, polarizing isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, I get significantly less matches when I have BDSM stuff on my profile, but the girls that do match are 100% all in, like 100% all in. So I would pull back a little bit and I'd say, am I actually getting laid as much as I want to? I wouldn't worry so much about like matches or like how many girls are responding well or not responding. It's like, at the end of the day, did your penis go in a vagina? If it did, awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. If not, then yeah, maybe you're too polarizing.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's what I was going to say. It comes down to how much you want to filter down, right? Like,
yeah,
you want one match a month that is exactly the girl that you want, and you can do that through apps too. Like, if you go on Field, you're reducing your quality, the volume, but maybe if you're just looking for BDSM shit, you're going to find it more often there. So, yeah, it depends where exactly you want to filter down to and how polarizing exactly you want to be. So just, yeah, you got to ask yourself that question a little bit.
I love the fact that you said the word where, because you can filter or screen at different stages of the interaction. You could have like a wide open net, so you don't have any BDSM stuff on your Tinder. You get tons of girls coming in. And then when you meet up on the date, you say, by the way, I like BDSM. Some girls at that point are going to be like, that's not for me. And so that's why and I'm guessing you do the same. Well, you do the same. I've seen your both of your profiles. We screen a bit earlier so that we don't get on a date with a chick that has no interest in BDSM.
That would be fucking boring as shit.
Playing with fire. I had my dream date on Friday, but struggling to let go of attachment to outcome. Any tips on letting that go? That's a good question. That's something a lot of guys struggle with, being attached to outcome. What will be my solution to that? Because it's not as simple. You can't just be like, you can't just tell yourself don't be attached to outcome, because it's your subconscious that's being attached. So I think really the best thing you can do ideally is to flood your subconscious with abundance. So I would go out leading up to it and like approach a lot of girls, try to get some dates. So if you have like a bunch of other dates stacked up later in the weekend, then your subconscious is going to feel less pressure on yourself. So that would probably be how I would approach it. I think meditation can also be good. It's not something I'm super experienced with, but yeah, that would be kind of like my approach. What do you guys think?
Oh, man, Aviator 122. It's not your dream date. Like, that's what you need to realize. Like, you know nothing about this fucking girl.
Yeah, it's like she's pixels on a fucking screen.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like whatever you think is your dream date, you don't know if this is it. Like, you just don't know. So I think being more realistic about what you're actually walking into, being more in that present moment. Alex mentioned meditation, because the minute you start future projecting and you're thinking, this is my dream girl, she has XY characteristics, this is exactly what I'm looking for, blah, blah, blah. This may be girlfriend material. It's like now you've got the pressure on going on a date with your future fucking wife, as opposed to what is the real situation, which you probably met some girl on Tinder or some shit and you're just going on a date. So bring it back, be realistic. If you're just going on a date with like the next girl, you're not going to have these huge attachment to outcome and worry about it going really well. Because at the end of the day, this girl could be the fucking most obnoxious, annoying, worst human in the entire fucking world, but you thought she was your dream girl because of a couple of lines you exchanged on Tinder or some shit. So I'd let go of that idea of her being a dream girl, and it's probably going to make it a little bit easier to not be so attached to whatever happens.
Here's my follow-up question though, Marcus. Like, as a coach, for example, I tell people that all the time, but then they typically follow up with, but how do I do that? So how would you like actually like, because obviously logically what you're saying makes sense, but how would they actually like do that? Like, let it go from your like subconscious brain.
Exactly. So challenge your actual logic here. So write down your thoughts. This is my dream girl. Ask myself why. Then he's probably going to write down, okay, well, she's my type physically. You'll probably write some physical traits. But usually when girls are saying, like guys are saying like dream girl, it's often got to do with emotional characteristics too. So he's probably going to write, oh, she's like family values. She's like, I don't know, outgoing or not outgoing. He's going to write down all these things. And then you have to really challenge your thinking and say, well, how much do I actually know about that? The looks could be catfished a little bit. We don't exactly know. Then the emotional stuff, you 100% don't know. It's like, what do you base? She has family values. How do you fucking know that? Because she wrote it in a bio, right? Like, it's you just don't know. And if you've had any experience with women or just interacting with people in general, oftentimes your first impressions aren't 100% and they're not that accurate. And you're not going to really know people until you actually get to know them. So actually challenging your mindset and your like belief process around this. So at the end of that process, you can actually say to yourself in a realistic, honest way, okay, you know what, Marcus, like, you're right. I don't know that much about this girl. I don't know if she has all these values. She's attractive, but maybe she's not as attractive as I think she is. And even if she is this attractive, she might not have the qualities that I'm after. So for me to say she's a dream girl is just not true. Like, I need to go on a few dates before I can even think that. So like, just logically going through, yes, you're still going to have like some level of attachment to it, but it should be retrospective. Like, it should match the realistic situation. If you're on a date with a hot girl, you're going to have a little bit of attachment. That's okay. It's motivating. But it shouldn't be the feeling that I need to make this work because this is the fucking girl and this is who I want to be with. There's a huge like difference in the amount of emotional stress you carry with that. So some level of attachment's okay. It's normal. You'll have it. Just it shouldn't be at like these extreme levels.
Yeah.
Also, take some of the take some of the pressure off, man. Like, you've told yourself you have to have this dream date on Friday. Why don't you just go to a bar and see if a chick is cool? It's just a boy and a girl sitting down and talking to each other. You've put so much fucking pressure on yourself. Instead, give yourself permission to suck. Like, you're basically putting this pressure that you have to be some fucking super Chad, awesome James Bond motherfucker. No, just go sit in a bar, have a chat with a chick. If it's awkward at points, cool, it's awkward. If you suck, you suck. You'll get better with practice. Like, take some of this pressure off, man. Like, yeah, you don't have to be perfect.
I also think the problem is when guys when guys put so much pressure on themselves and they put the girl on a pedestal, they start playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And every single
motherfucker, yes.
It never goes well because they take no risks, they don't sexualize, they don't polarize, they don't pull, they just want to play it safe. Every time you play it safe, you're going to essentially lose, right? So like that's just like I've seen this like hundreds of times doing coaching. It's like, bro, I got this date, I really don't want to fuck it up, like I just don't want to mess it up. It's like, okay, I know it's not going to go well. Like you have to play to win. You have to
and girls can see that shit. They can see when you're scared to make a fucking move, when you're fucking pussing out. But yeah, like, so when I've been in these situations, or like when students have been in these situations and everything, so I kind of like the idea of having some, you know, attachment to the outcome, but I kind of want to change what that outcome is. Like for me, if I go on a date, for example, I have like an amazing learning experience. Like I learned something about the game or something about women on a date, I would define that as a success. So I would kind of want to reframe it in that way, and that's something that I felt super helpful in order to take like any, you know, pressure off, and it actually helped me perform much better.
So the outcome you're focused on is independent of what happens with a girl. Basically, it's purely dependent on you and how you perform.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's all practice.
Question: thoughts on using just a one-liner for the bio? I've heard from someone with tons of matches, the more text and bios, more possible for it to be disqualified. I mean, I think only if it's like cringy shit. I personally don't like the one-liner. I mean, I think it can work. I think the bio is like obviously not nearly as important as the photos. So just because something works doesn't really mean it's optimal. You have to like do like an experiment where you would have like that person try a bio with a one line, try a bio like a PWF bio or like a UMP bio, or you know, like a kill your inner loser bio, and see which performs better. But I think that you need to give the girl a little bit in order to stand out, and two, like in order to hook the girl. Because at the end of the day, the girl's going to match with you if she finds you attractive, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's going to engage with you. So I think the bio is a really good way to hook the girl, right? I mean, you can do that with your photos too. But if the girl's like, for example, been interested in trying BDSM, and you say you're a BDSM coach, like you're going to hook her really hard, and that might give you a competitive advantage compared to even the better looking guys that she's talking to. So I don't know. I do think it's important to hook the girl. Like my whole thing is I want to be polarizing. I don't want to like play it safe.
Yes.
Be like very polarizing and screen some girls out, but the girls who are not screened out, they're girls who are like very into it. That's kind of like my take.
Yeah, man. We just had a conversation about playing to win rather than playing not to lose. The fact that you're worried about being disqualified for a girl, flip that around. No, we're not trying to not be disqualified. We're trying to screen for the women that we want. We're disqualifying them. And so all the stuff that's in the bio is like, if you're not into BDSM, don't match with me. If you don't like that I'm very, you know, arrogant, so to speak, or impressed with my own confidence, like don't match with me. So switch the word disqualified. We're screening.
Yeah, and also like, what's the point with using like a one-liner? Like I feel like it's like a wasted opportunity where you could have displayed value. Essentially, it's a wasted opportunity in my eyes.
I feel like it's going up to a girl on the street and saying, "Hey, do you want to go on a date with me?" It can definitely work, but I feel like you're like limiting yourself. You know, like you'd be better off if you just like chat with her for a minute or two and build up some like sexual tension, and then ask her for a date.
But look at how this question is framed. More text in the bio is just more possible reasons to be disqualified. Yeah, I mean that would be true if you're adding a lot of stupid shit. If you're adding a lot of stupid shit, then yeah, you're giving reasons to be disqualified. And you could argue that it is being more polarizing or whatever, but you know, it's generally going to be a lot of value to like the vast majority of girls. Like if you're targeting BDSM, you're still targeting like the majority of girls are gonna be into that. It's not like a fucking 5% or something. It's like a 90. 85, 90.
Okay. On that point, man, you just brought something up. I wouldn't be putting shit in there like maybe politics, unless it's something you care deeply about, and you're like, I never want to match with someone who's like swings this way.
Yeah,
Fine, put it in there. But yeah, I'd leave like politics and shit like that out.
Yeah, politics and religion. Yeah, two things I would.
Religion's a good one.
Yo,
Although, again, if you're screening for that, like if you say I want a lovely little Catholic girl, then yeah, fucking put that in your bio. Like if it's something you deeply care about.
What's up with the chat? There's a lot of fucking complaining here. Why?
That's dude.
Welcome to my I just saw this. Like, holy fuck! These coaches
Bro, don't read the chat.
dudes.
Don't read the chat, bro.
They're all destined for the grave.
It started happening a year ago. I made a mistake of debating too many black pillars, and they become drawn to me like fucking like flies to honey, and they just like they hate me, but they can't just help themselves but hate watch every single one of them stream. Dude, some of them are so committed that like I'll go on someone else's stream without even announcing it, and then 20 minutes later in my comments that person will be attacking me for things I said on that person's stream. So like you're literally staying up until 2 a.m. just like scanning the whole internet, like wondering if I'm going to go on.
Hilarious.
The commitment is insane.
I mean, imagine how fucking little life you must have. Like that's just what's fucking blowing me away.
Welcome to the Black Pill, sir. Alex,
Yeah, I really want to do like a deep dive into black pill psychology. Like, what gets you to the point where you basically like give up and complain? Not all black pillers, but like the extremes, right? I'm really
Like
curious, like as a man, what gets you there? Yeah, but
I think it's similar to what gets you to like join Scientology or like a cult, right? It's like it's some life experiences for whatever reason tipped you in that direction, and then becomes part of your identity. And when something becomes part of your identity, it's really, really hard for you to change it, because if someone questions your beliefs, you feel like you're personally being attacked, and you're going to go all in and double down, and you will be like completely immune to logic. That's why it's like so hard to take people out of cults, right? Even though like Scientology is really stupid, you can't like logic someone out of Scientology because they just have this emotional attachment to it.
Yeah.
That's why
no one
out
should
of the black pill. You
Yeah, you
basically
should never
say
be
like, how does
Me and Andy just love
You
talking
should
at the
never
same
be
time.
identified.
I know we just fucking don't shut the fuck
You
up.
did
both of
beat
us.
it a straight. I was gonna say that's why you should never be attached to an idea, right? You should never be attached to an ideology. Like that's why you'll never hear me really identify as a pickup artist or red pill guy or anything. Like I try not to identify as anything, even politics. Like I try not to actually say this is what I am. I'm like, yeah, sure, left leaning, but this is like I have different ideas about different things, and I think everyone should take that up because the minute, as Alex said, you say I am blah blah blah, you can't change your idea. Right, you just can't get out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it's fucking lazy too. I think it's super lazy because you're looking for the
He pieced out of life, didn't he?
I don't know.
I wasn't sure if he was thinking.
Me too.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I would never identify with like if you agree 100% with some community, then you're not thinking for yourself. Like there's no community that I agree even like 80% with. Yeah, like this idea, I'm a black pillar, I'm a red pillar, I'm a DUA. It's all like don't you want to be like your own man who like thinks for yourself and comes up with your own ideas that like based on your experiences rather than just like parroting what someone else is saying. I'm assuming this one's directed towards me. Alex want to do a challenge. So I have actually already agreed to do several challenges. I said I would do a challenge against Ganstar. He bitched out on that. I said I would do it against Arctic Wolf. So yeah, there's several challenges I've agreed to, but other people are, dragging their feet. So nothing I can do about that. We'll just give Lindbergh, I guess, a little bit of time to come back. I'm going consistently out almost every day, at least every second day. My day game and game overall scout after doing consistently. Hell yeah, man.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, let's see what else do we have. Yo, I don't drink, so can't see why. Do you have any other socially acceptable things to see with examples of how to? Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't drink, so I just have fucking coffee, or water,
It sounds like we're being prompted as like Chat GPT.
Alex GPT, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think back at my previous pulls. I mean, I can't remember the last time I pulled with wine or anything. Like last time I pulled, it was like, hey, I'm gonna take you home and eat your pussy, basically.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about like over text. Yeah, I guess like the way I do it when the girl doesn't drink, because I don't actually drink alcohol nowadays. But the way I do it is I'll be like, well, first of all, if you don't drink, you can still offer the girl wine, and then you can just be like, "Oh, I'm chilling out tonight. I drank too much last night, or whatever." Like so that just because you don't drink doesn't mean you can't offer wine. But if you're like, for example, in a situation where that would be like too tempting for you because you're an ex-alcoholic, what I've done is with girls who don't drink is I've said, "Oh, okay, well, why don't we go for a walk around my neighborhood, and if you feel comfortable, you come up for like a cup of tea afterwards, i.e. fuck." So yeah, you can do like the quick walk around the block, but it has to be like the girls meeting you at your place, and the understanding is that like, hey, as long as I'm not weirdo, you're gonna come up and we're gonna have sex. It has to be like it can't just be like, "Oh, let's go for a walk." It has to be like, "Hey, okay, you don't feel comfortable coming straight to my place, that's fine. We're just gonna go for a walk around my neighborhood, and if you feel comfortable, you can come up afterwards." So that's an important distinction there.
Yeah, it can't be like a sneaky RSD pull, basically.
Yeah.
I've actually
like
used
non-alcoholic
coffee.
wine, by the way.
Yeah, I've actually used
Yeah.
like coffee and tea, like literally taking them home and like starting like boiling the kettle and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of wine. I think it sets the right frame. It's romantic. Just like get a non-alcoholic wine. Girls don't fucking know the difference.
Yeah, that's true. Putting the word BDSM in my bio, I think shadow ban my Tinder thoughts. I mean, I've had it in there for a while. I've never been shadow banned. I don't know. I'm having a hard time imagining them. It's theoretically possible, but my guess would be usually just your photos, for whatever reason, stop getting as many matches because either your area got more competitive or so like 90% of the time when people think they're shadow banned, they're not actually shadow banned. I've noticed.
Correct.
Yeah, it could just be that you're not swiping actively. I noticed when people are not swiping actively, they just stop getting matches completely.
Yep.
But I mean, look, it could also be that girls have reported you for something that you did, maybe sex related in the chat. Maybe that got you shadow banned. But I don't think putting that in your bio by itself got you shadow banned.
The swiping thing makes a big difference. We did an experiment. We had a profile. We spent 1 week where we did like no swiping and 1 week where we swiped every day. It's like a 3x difference that you will get 3 times more likes / matches if you are actively swiping. It is way more. It was way more than I thought. I thought it'd be like 20 or 30%. It is like 3x. Like Tinder really, really, really penalizes you if you're not using the app regularly.
I got a question for you, Alex. When you outsource some of your Tinder swiping and messaging to other people, do you need to worry about setting up like VPNs and stuff like that in terms of like Tinder getting activated in multiple different areas, or they don't give a fuck?
No, I've never had to do. Yeah, I just typically have them like start the whole process on their phone. So I'll be like, okay, here. I mean, I've also switched accounts because sometimes someone retires and get a new person. But typically, like if I'm working with someone, like, okay, you're gonna create my Bumble on your phone. We're going to use Google Voice, so we both have login to it, so that I can see what you're texting, so I can like step in if I need to.
Nice.
But sometimes, if I have to like switch, like from one person to another, I'll just literally just have them switch. Yeah, I don't use VPNs or anything like that.
Okay, cool. I'll give it a go.
I've never really.
Are you just hiring VAs?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's cool.
Alex, I know you made a video on this, but for all of you too, any tips on gym game? What do I do if I see a cute girl in the gym and we make eye contact a few times? What do you guys think about that?
Touch her titties just immediately.
Yeah.
don't fucking do. Let's make that clear. Don't fucking. No, don't.
Yeah, gym game's tough because she's busy, and ideally you're meant to be busy as well. So, like personally speaking, I just don't gym game, right? But for students that ask, yeah, you need a strong. I reckon like 2 minutes, right? And then I'd get details and off the bounce. So I'd go in, do your normal opener, like whatever it is. If you actually see it like catching you, you can use an opener like, hey, what the fuck? Like you keep looking at me, you don't even come say hi. Like what's going on, right? Chat to her for a couple of minutes, DHV a little bit, get her Instagram or number on like a strong high, and then bounce back to your workout. And the ideal scenario is this is a gym you're frequenting a lot and she's frequenting a lot. You're probably going to see her again anyway. But I think like the mistake guys often make in gym game is the girl's like trying to get back to a workout. And even though you have a good interaction, if you just keep it going for a little bit too long, then it's like she has to kind of reject you. Now, I'm sure there's times with it, like you could probably like fucking just pull from the gym if it's like amazing. But for most guys, from what I've seen, like if you have a good 2 minutes and then get the Instagram and let her get back to a workout.
Yeah, I mean, look, you could always pull for a post-workout meal. That's like an easy pull. But actually, like most of my gym game, it could have been like pretty much like let's say non-verbal at the gym, but then I go to the smoothie place where they all go after the gym, and that's usually where I would actually like open.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think also it's important not to approach the girl while she's in the middle of a set. I think that's like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fake.
true.
and like that can just fuck you over. Yeah. Like I like to wait until like the girl's like, like not like, she's like resting, like she's going to rest for a minute or two. Not like while she's like right in between sets or something like that. I think the second thing I like to do, if I can, is establish a little eye contact and like maybe like smirk at the girl. So it's like a little bit of a warmer approach. And third is I don't like to go too direct at the gym. So I'll just typically like kind of go a little bit more indirect. I'll be like, oh, do you come here a lot? I haven't seen you here ever. Like, my name is blah, blah, blah. And then you just slowly build it up. I feel like if you go too direct at the gym, sometimes it can blow it out. It's like, hey, I think you're really attractive. I want to meet you. I mean, it can definitely work, but at the gym, I typically prefer going direct in most situations, but gym, I prefer more indirect. Just kind of my theory on that. What is the panel think of possibly using a green screen to get yourself an awesome exotic picture? I think it looks super obvious and cringe, and I personally don't think it works.
You just buy a flight
Just
ticket,
use
bro.
AI, bro.
Yeah, actually,
I
with
mean, if
AI,
you
that
make
should be
it, yeah,
possible.
if it looks believable, then sure. But if you're looking at that being like, okay, this guy's standing in front of a green screen, then yeah, it's just a fucking huge deal.
I mean, okay,
Also,
but-
make it work. You make
Actually,
it work.
I've never seen it look
You
believable.
can do it with the green screen if you make it super, super obvious that it's a green screen. It becomes like ironic.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
maybe.
You can do,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But otherwise, you get a flight ticket, bro.
It's like dinosaurs in the background and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dinosaurs and
personally
mammoths and shit. Everything.
Maybe some people are doing it better. Every time I've seen it, it always looks super obvious to me and like everyone else. So I've never once seen it done convincingly, but
I guess you wouldn't know though, right? If there's one done so convincingly, maybe you don't know.
yeah, I guess. I mean,
I
I
think
just
the
more,
easier-
About it.
I just more like talking about when people are like, hey, does this photo look like fake? I'm using a green screen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It looks like really fake.
You like it. All right, fair.
I think like one of you said it, just go to the fucking place that you're trying to take a photo
Yeah.
of. Like it's probably easier and cheaper than fucking around.
Yeah, probably. It's probably cheaper than a green screen. And all that shit. Yeah.
What are your favorite date locations if a girl doesn't go straight to your place? I mean, me personally, I only have like 2 or 3 types of dates I do. Either straight to the house or a bar that's walking distance or a walk around my neighborhood and afterwards we're going to come up. Those I don't do any other type of date on the first date. Like maybe if I'm hooking up with a girl, I'll do shit with her. But for the first date, those are literally the only 3 things I will do. No exceptions.
Yeah, just somewhere near your apartment. You can go to a park or a beach or something if you want, but just make sure it's near your apartment, like within 10 minutes walk, maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah. Either like my place, her place, or in the bar literally downstairs.
Yeah, her place is fine too. I forgot that one. But I think guys like add way too much complexity to these situations. And typically they're guys who are like more beginners. So it's like I've had coaching calls where like, yeah, man, we're at the beach. It was like 2 hours from where I live. And then she got like, I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're meeting up with her 2 hours from where you live. You're already setting yourself up to lose on that situation, And like logistics is just so underrated, I think, that a lot of people just
man.
And guys are doing this crazy shit where they're trying to bounce girls between like 5 different venues in one night.
That used to be such a big thing. Hey, in like the 2000s
like
and shit, it was like you had to bounce.
Yeah, it's like a Todd V thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think 2 venues can be okay. Like it depends on the context, but if you're meeting the girl like from cold approach and she like seems like really apprehensive, it could be a good strategy to take her from one bar to a bar that's closer to your place to your place. But yeah, 5 is like insane overkill. By the 4th
guys do that. It's crazy. But look, like if you need more time, if maybe you don't have that much experience or like your game is not 10 out of 10 and you need more time, then by all means, rather take your time than trying to pull prematurely. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and have fun on the date. That's the fucking point. Like make
have
sure
fun,
you're having
guys.
fun.
Have fun.
Do you think the polarizing bio only works because you guys look dominant? If someone didn't have that look, would they have worse results by sexualizing? It's an interesting question.
Well,
I agree with
if you're going with dominance, then yeah, you can't
100%.
claim to be dominant and then not look dominant.
Yeah, this guy, by the way, goes for everything in terms of being congruent, right? Like if you're having a very sexualized bio and sexualized texting, and then you look like this little nerdy guy that's scared of everything, it's never going to work. But also the exact same way, if you have like a very artistic bio and then you don't congruent with that in the chat whatsoever, like it needs to be congruent. And you usually identify the most when it comes to like sexualizing, of course. So yes, if your photos don't look dominant, you have to fix them, right? Like photos are going to be the biggest difference on Tinder when it comes to your first kind of initial value. So yeah, fix your photos and make sure they're congruent.
What I'm thinking is, I just want to say one thing. What I'm thinking is, if you don't look dominant or confident in your photos, then I don't know what angle would actually work.
Sure.
Like what would work if you're not looking? If you're looking fucking scared, you're looking like a pussy. You're not looking confident. You're not looking dominant.
The more romantic approach.
Any method is going to really.
No, you can work. You just do something different. You do more like a romantic, like, hey, yeah, like, you know, I want to, like, you know, like do something a little bit more romantic with you rather than sexual. It can work. It's suboptimal for hookups, obviously. But I would say that also, like, some guys like may not even be able to look dominant like right away with photos because they're just either too skinny. But essentially anyone can look dominant with enough effort.
Yeah.
You grow muscle, get some tattoos, get some facial hair, get good fashion. Like, you can look dominant. It's not like something that's like
make it happen. Make it happen. Like, don't make it so much harder for yourself. Like, look confident in your photos. Have good body language. Look like you're not a fucking pussy. Like, you know, put in the work and get to that point. I wouldn't try to slap a fucking Band-Aid on it.
Yeah, like self-improvement is a thing, guys. Like,
but yeah, body language is huge, right? Like, if you're not there yet, like, I'm thinking of some guys in our community, like Andy, Alex, like we have guys that are like skinny, white, pasty, and still just through their like subcoms won't look like a pussy. Like, you're not going to look like Alex, right, in the photos, but at least you're not looking like a pussy. So yeah, I think there's a lot of improvement that can be had.
Yeah.
Can I share my screen for like half a second? Sorry, you guys keep talking.
Yeah, go for it. Now, I was just gonna say, like, it doesn't have to be perfect either. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Absolutely.
As long as it doesn't look.
Oh shit.
dude, I got way more than that, bro. I used to be like Captain Nice Guy. Little fatty, look at that little fatty. Look at that little fatty.
That's funny.
So yeah, the point is, like, you just put the effort in, you know what I mean? Just self-improve.
Yeah.
Add some muscle, lose some fat, fix your posture, get your facial grooming sorted, wear some accessories, wear better clothes, learn to like yourself. You grow into that like confident, dominant frame. You don't start in it. I really didn't start in it.
Well, since we're sharing old photos, I'll do a quick one too. Hold up a second.
Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Oh yeah.
This is the first YouTube channel I ever created. Let's take a look at this dominant fucking alpha male right here in 2014.
Mark, I'll send you a photo you can screen share.
Oh, I think this is a good one right here. Look at this. Look at this fucking slayer.
Oh, you look so adorable.
Hello.
Oh, wow.
That is cute.
Yeah.
My breakfast. Yeah, this guy fucking, believe it or not, the crazy thing is I was actually already getting laid at this point in my life, right? That's the crazy thing. But can you just imagine what I was like when I was like 18, 19? Yeah, like I'm like 130 pounds. My clothes don't fit me. I have no facial hair. My hair is a mess. My body language is pretty beta. My tonality is poor. I look like I lack confidence. Yeah, I'm like, look at this. I'm just fucking making a video talking about my breakfast, like, for God's sakes. Like, so yeah, there's massive room to improve.
I'm gonna send Marcus a photo he could screen share of me. Like, it's really fucking bad.
Do it. Fuck
Like,
yeah, I
it's
love this shit.
really bad. Holy fuck, guys. Holy fuck.
All right, we'll keep going.
Yeah, I think people make the mistake of looking at people and saying, okay, this is a dominant, confident guy. I'm not that, therefore I can't do what he's done. It's like, motherfucker.
You gotta work on it. You gotta work on it.
Yeah, we were not like that at the start. The first time I ever tried BDSM shit, I was like shaking in my boots. My dick didn't get hard like the first 5 times. I was so nervous.
I sent a photo to Mark, so you guys can see what I look like. I mean, this is fucking bad. But like, I was pulling a lot here. Yeah.
Oh, no fucking way. That is not you. That is not you.
Like the thin hair. Yeah, this is me in
Can you zoom in?
That looks totally believable to me. I mean, he's definitely transformed, but I wouldn't say it's as drastic as yours transformation, Andy.
Bro,
this
look at
is
his
this
gut.
is a,
Look at his
this
like.
is Alex. Yeah, this isn't Alex at his worst. Alex, you should share that
Yeah,
photo of you that you
I
showed.
have worse. I have worse, but I don't know
Yeah,
if I
he's
can
got.
pull that up.
But
Holy
yeah,
shit, that is like too bad. But yeah, guys, you can you can really
you can make it.
improve in
Yeah.
these aspects.
Flamer 5, made out with this baddie. It was hot as fuck. Got her number, FaceTime her 2 days after she. Well, I think the mistake was trying to like not talking to her for 2 days and then just randomly FaceTiming her. So like if I get a girl's number, I'm gonna text her like either that night or the next day. And you don't want to like just FaceTime girls out of the blue. Like a lot of girls won't pick up just because they're busy or because she doesn't have her makeup or she's embarrassed or she forgot quickly who you are. And then if she doesn't pick up, you enter this like negative compliance. So I think the mistake was just some strategy you took. I don't know if you guys have anything to add to that.
Yeah, did he just like not text her again for the whole 3 months after that?
It sounds like that's the case, that he didn't hit her up for like 2 days, and then he just randomly FaceTimed her.
I feel like
Yeah, but I mean,
in
after
this
that, did he then
context
not
here-
do anything for the next 3
Oh,
months?
I don't know. Yeah, it seems like that's the case.
I mean, hit her back up if you want, but at this point, like, you haven't talked to her for 3 months and she didn't pick up the fucking phone the first time. Like, just don't have any expectations. It almost doesn't
it's a
matter what
shit
you say at
lead.
this point.
It's a shit.
Yeah,
lead
that's
at
what I
this
mean.
point.
Yeah. She's probably going to reply with, "Who's this?" So if anything, send a selfie of yourself doing something cool if you really want to.
Yeah,
Or
the
a
time to hit
Facebook
her up was months
video
ago.
message.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sometimes time is of the essence.
Yeah.
How to make an approach come across organic and not like a pickup artist approach. What do you guys think about that?
Then just be honest and congruent and normal and say what you want.
I think it's practicing
but
a
I
lot so it
think-
doesn't sound rehearsed.
Exactly. I think it's the practice, like, because you can go say whatever you want and it won't feel pick-uppy, but it's probably not going to be optimal, right? A lot of guys going and saying what they
Sure.
want is just like, hey, hey, hi. And so I think the way to go about this is the practice. Like, I really think about it as a skill. So the conscious incompetence and basically working your way up to a point where it feels like you're not even thinking about it at this point. It's like I go in, hey, you look fucking amazing. And it's like that's just rehearsed so many times that I'm saying it where I'm not thinking about it. So it does become what you spoke about, Andy, where you just say what you want, but it's like rehearsed and you had it prepared and now it's natural. So it's just going to take some time. It's always going to feel fucking rehearsed at first.
Yeah.
Alex PWF should be arrested for talking sexually to girls. Yeah. Some of these guys think that if you're not Chad and you like talk to girls, you're going to go to jail. This is the level of delusion that you're.
Okay, right.
Yeah, being a virgin is fucking rough, man. Rough.
Oh man.
Okay, what else do we have? Yeah, I might do like a massive purge of the chat. There's just too many fucking retards in here. Okay, this dude, we can just go ahead and block this dude. He's just fucking just spamming the same shit. Also, the stuff they spam is like typically not even true. Alex afraid to do a pickup competition without his dog. Dude, I'm fucking down. I don't need my dog. All right, what else do we have?
There's some good questions in there, bro. Do you want me to read some out? Like, I can see some.
Yeah, I'm trying to find like some good ones, but I want to pull them up on the screen too. Alex, I sent you a piece of data a couple of months ago on the website showing that half of UK college male students are incels. You should make a video on that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've covered this topic like pretty adequately. Like I'm more interested in like solutions, and it's like, okay, we know there's a lot of incels out there. Like, what to do about it? What's the solution? I don't know if you guys like have any thoughts on that, like UMP crowd or Andy. Like, what can be done about this? Like, fucking massive incel epidemic, because it's getting worse and worse every year.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think in a way it's a great thing. If you're working on yourself, you're into self-development, you're into game, you're into looks maxing, whatever the fuck you're into, it's great for you because you will be able to pick up a higher percentage of that share because there's less competition. So I think it's an amazing thing, really. So
yeah,
really, what you should do is you should try to improve every single value vector possible. That could be improving your body language, being more charismatic, getting better verbally, improving the understanding of psychology, improving your looks, improving your fitness, improve everything. Like, don't be like, I'm gonna follow this pill or I'm gonna follow this pill. No, be more like fucking Bruce Lee. Take everything good from every fucking pill and apply it. Don't limit yourself to some fucking retarded ideology. Pick everything.
Yeah.
Well said.
Alex, but there's so many frauds on the internet that it forces guys to prove themselves. Yeah, I do agree with that. There's a lot of frauds. Most people are frauds in this community. But on the flip side of the coin, just because it's like saying like, oh, there's a lot of like bodybuilders who pretend they're natural and take steroids, therefore bodybuilding doesn't work. You're kind of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We all know that bodybuilding works. Like if you lift a certain way, you eat a certain amount of food, you can pull out muscle. Like pickup is somewhat like that. Maybe not as certain, but it's like if you follow the right strategy and you put in the work and you do enough volume, you will eventually get some girls into you, and you can develop the protocol skills. You can become more confident. You can become more charismatic. You can become more relaxed. You can, get to a point where you're just like a lot more relaxed and you're not as tense when you're talking to girls. You can get to a point where you're a lot more sexual naturally. These are all things that can be accomplished. Let's see what else do we have.
The thing is, I feel like if someone was an incel and they didn't want to be anymore, I feel like they would have solved it already. Like, it's not rocket science to Google this shit and like find other people on YouTube. Like, if you want to fix it, you would already fixed it, is what I'm thinking. Like,
but Alex, the thing is that the majority of guys, they say they want to fix it, but they don't really.
Yeah, but they don't. It's like something they want rather than something they need.
It's easy to complain about for a lot of guys, right?
You know why?
I think that is the big cope, which is, okay, there's two choices here. One is really fucking difficult a lot of the time and requires me to put in a lot of effort. The other way is it's kind of comforting if you're a guy that can't have sex to know that you're in the same boat as half the other men, right? Like in this study, right? So if I'm sitting there and being like, look, half the guys aren't getting laid. Okay, great. So what am I going to do about it? Let's fucking complain. Let's pick everything that's not related to actually actions that I need to take and say that's the reason why. So it's because girls are too entitled. It's because the community is shaming masculinity. It's because like they will come up with 1,000 reasons that won't actually require them to do anything. And it feels good. It does. Like we all do this in life. If there's something that's like difficult to do, it's so much easier to put the blame everywhere else, right? It's nice to do. It becomes a problem when other people support that message with you and basically circle jerk with you. So yeah, man, it's the individual choice. It's like, do I want to make this better? Do I want to go through this or not? And look, it looks like for half the guys they don't. So for the other half that do, fuck yeah, let's get it. You got more women to choose from.
Yeah.
To piggyback off that, I think they do want to change. I just think they have an unrealistic expectation of the game. What I mean by that is I think a lot of people wholeheartedly want to improve their circumstances, but right now they're reasonably comfortable, right? They're like a 5 out of 10 in terms of happiness. And so they go into pickup or they go into self-improvement. In the first couple of weeks, it can be fucking brutal. Like you walk up to a woman, she just says, no, thank you. And you feel like your entire soul has been sucked out of you. And so you were at a 5 of happiness before when you were in your comfortable, mediocre life. Now you're at a fucking 1 because you're like, this sucks. Is this what I signed up for? I'm supposed to just get blown out. It hurts when I go to the gym. I feel like a fraud when I put on nice clothes. Fuck this. I'm going back to my comfortable life. If you just fucking hang in there for a couple of weeks or months, you get through that plateau and you get to a point where you start to get a payoff and this shit starts to become fun and you get to a 6 of happiness or a 7 or an 8. But you got to push through that start. And I think a lot of guys will just start for a couple of weeks, do a little bit of self-improvement and then fucking give up when it's hard. It's like just push through that barrier.
You know what I think? I think a lot of people who are in that position, they're not exactly used to delayed gratification because if they were, I don't think they would have fucking been there in the first place.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think also like a big part of it is resilience. Like I've always just had really high levels of resilience too. And I think I've developed that also through like the life experience I've had. Like I can tell you this, like going through the hardships of like learning game is like absolutely nothing in comparison to having chronic disease that has you bedridden with like no treatment. So I've just personally experienced things in my life that like forced me to develop massive amounts of resilience. But I think a lot of people don't have any resilience. Like as soon as they get like any kind of discomfort, they just like shrink away and they give up. And that's like something I've never been able to like really, I mean, I can understand it, but it's not something I can like really, I don't know, something that I'm having a hard time like imagining myself doing that. Because for me, it's like, okay, if I want to accomplish something, like I'm just going to keep trying. I'm going to try different methods. I'm going to get feedback. I'm going to try different things until I eventually accomplish my goal. Like starting my business, PWF, wasn't easy. It wasn't like I just created PWF and I had 100,000 subscribers. It was a massive grind for the first 2 years. I had fucking Tinder threatening to sue me. I had fucking Facebook banning me. I had Vice writing hit pieces on me. I had payment processors basically dropping, working with me and losing tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, I had every type of setback. But for me, the idea of like, okay, let me just give up and like go back to the corporate world was never an option. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to ultimately make it work. But I think like most people don't have that kind of resilient mindset, which is why I think like things like I don't know, like even like I think like, for example, people who are in the military, who are ex-military, are typically more likely to be successful with this stuff because they just have so much higher resilience, right? Or like people who used to play competitive sports or something that forces you to build up your resilience. Or people from third world countries, actually. I find that people from third world countries typically have a better attitude than people in first world countries when it comes to this stuff. They're like, dude, I fucking spent 10 years like fucking starving for food, okay? I think I can like get over getting rejected by some random chick.
Yeah. But like what you have is you have very good consistency over a long period of time. And that's delayed gratification, like what you did with playing with Fire Channel. Like you posted like 1.5K videos. That is the delayed gratifications, and guys don't guys don't have that. Like
because
guys,
they have expectations. Guys have expectations. Alex didn't. Alex is probably like, I'm entitled to anything. I'm not owed anything.
Yeah, they want it now, this moment. 5 minutes ago, they wanted it.
Yep. It's always easier to play victim and blame other people than it is to like take responsibility and take action. Unfortunately, just playing victim doesn't get you anything in life, and that's like. So it's like you have a choice. Do you want to like keep feeling comfortable and playing victim and get those like mild dopamine highs, but always be a loser and always not be able to get like the dating life you want? Or do you want to separate yourself from that and like actually someday have the kind of life that you want, but that requires you to be uncomfortable for a period of time? How much experience does learning advanced intermediate POA seduction ultimately bring to your life in the long run? And the only way to gain high level experience through repetition or not? What do you guys think about that?
I think it brings a lot of experience into your life. I think one of the biggest, most valuable things that it brings you, if you look at it through this lens, is you really learn how to read and how to understand people. I feel like that is something like very invaluable. And like you know, if you interact with a lot of people, you will notice patterns. So for example, you will learn how to notice, let's say, you know, toxic people. So you learn how to be able to stay away from them. I feel like that is like a super super valuable thing that maybe doesn't get spoken about that much.
Yeah, I think game is super underrated in terms of what it can give you in your life. Like I always think it is the best therapy you can go through is going out and approaching to women nonstop. Like we just spoke about resilience, right? So it teaches you that. It teaches you how to be more confident in your own skills. It teaches you what you're insecure about and how to get over it. It teaches you in general social skills. So not only how to be better with women, but how to be better with men, how to actually have a bigger social circle that gives you, again, more resilience, better relationships, right? You actually understand how to create a dynamic with a girl where you have the right frame, the right power dynamic, where you kind of feel in control. It teaches you so much about yourself in the world. It's ridiculous. Now, the next question is there any way to gain a high level experience through repetition? Well, yeah, the only way to gain a high level experience is through experience by definition. So yes, you will need to put in repetition, of course.
Yeah, that's true. I would want to say one thing as well. I think game is a really good just way to improve in general for one reason, is that women, they are a very honest feedback loop. If they don't like you, they're gonna tell you. They're not gonna lie about it. That's what's so amazing. It's like a super accurate feedback loop. If you have any form of like, let's say, weakness or anything that is let's say not sufficient or whatever, something that you really need to improve on, it's going to get highlighted. Like you're not going to get away with it, so that will be exposed. So I think that's the best part. You get super honest feedback on everything about you.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think you guys basically hit on every point. Blatant 5, do you ever end up on dates with girls where they aren't receptive to escalation, only respond to more platonic convos, hard to give emotional spikes to this kind of girl? Have I ever had it happen? I'm sure it's happened at some point where I went on a date with a girl who was like a weird prude. It doesn't happen to me often because I kind of screen for that with my, when it comes to cold approach, I'm screening for that just by the way I am. Within like 2 minutes, if the girl's a prude and she's like, I'm going to be cracking sexual jokes, I'm going to be like lightly touching her. So if she's like super duper prudish, she's probably just going to like be like, oh, I got to go. So I'm okay with like screening out girls though, by the way. I'm not trying to like hook up with every girl. I want to hook up with the girls who are looking for something similar to me and who are compatible with me. So yeah, but I typically would avoid going on a date with a girl who's very not compatible with me, right? Because if a girl is very platonic, isn't receptive to escalation, and she's not compatible with me, so I would have figured that out way before the date. I think that comes down to, again, like screening a little bit better and being more polarizing. I don't know if you guys have anything to add on that.
Yeah, so I think if she's not receptive to escalation, I feel like there could really be maybe three reasons for that. So the first thing is like maybe you just don't have attraction. Maybe it doesn't have anything really to do with the girl and her psychology. Really, it could just be that, okay, like you don't have enough value, you don't have enough attraction. Option number two, there could be some form of concern or some form of objection that you would have to dig up. Option number three, maybe she knows someone in the environment and you can't escalate, but that's far less likely. So I would guess it's one of the first two. It's either like, look, you might not have enough attraction, or there could be some form of like concern or objection. Maybe there's some framing that has to be done around some of her beliefs around like hooking up or whatever the fuck. That's going to be very like situational, but I would be looking at those things and I would try to figure out which one of those it is.
Remember that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Remember the cheat code is you can literally just ask. Like all of this question is sort of one that a lot of guys ask, where they're asking us to try and mind read this woman. It's like, why don't you just fucking ask? I think I've had a really nice privilege of getting into BDSM. Part of that is that you communicate, you consent, and if you're touching a woman and then she pulls back, you go like, yo, hey, do you not want me to do that? Like, what's up? Like, you're not feeling it? Do you want to try something else? Like, you just fucking ask. So if you're touching a girl on a date a bunch of times and she keeps pulling away, just be like, oh, do you not like to touch on the first date? Oh, are you not feeling the chemistry? Just fucking ask, and then we don't have to mind read.
Yeah, I've had that be like the game changer, like where like I pull a girl who's like really difficult, right, and just gets massive LMR, and like I try everything, nothing works, and then like I've started like as a last resort, or sometimes not even the last resort, somewhere in the middle. I'll be like, hey, I can tell we're vibing a lot, but you seem a little bit uncomfortable. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And like, just sometimes it's something that you don't even like suspect. It's something so random. Oh, I forgot to shave my vagina. Like, can be something so random that you would have never thought of that. And all you have to be is like, oh, I don't really care about that. And that's it. The whole problem is solved, right? But like, you would have never known if you didn't ask her for it.
Fuck yeah. Yep.
Playing with fire. Love the content. Love the value pods UMP collab. Hell yeah.
Fuck yes.
Okay, he's not actually trolling. I know this dude. This is actually a serious question. How do I 10x my lake count this year? What should my main focus be? Going out, dating apps, or social circle? I'll let you guys.
What's your current lake count?
I think
is it 1 or is it 100? That's gonna.
I think he's at about a dozen.
Okay.
I mean, just talk to 10 times as many women as you're currently talking to.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things I do here, right? Like, one, how do you be most efficient? Then yes, I think using all of the above. So go out, use dating apps, and if you have somewhat of a social circle, you can use that. But usually, when guys are trying to use social circles as beginners, it fucks up. So mainly just going out and dating apps is what you're going to want to do. And then in terms of, I wouldn't want to just give you the advice of, do both and go have fun. You're going to have to really review what's working and what's not. And so on the dating apps, if you're matching with 100 girls and you fucked one of them, then I'd be going to fucking Alex and asking him like, hey, what can I do here? If you're going out and you find that, okay, I keep getting like fucking friend objection every single fucking time, like I'm getting attraction, but every time I go to pull, it's a friend, then you need to go to someone and ask, okay, how do I deal with this? So you need to be figuring out what's actually holding you back from getting laid, figuring that out, and then solving that problem, and be very hyper specific on that. And the more you do that over and over again, the more efficient you're going to get with both styles of game, both dating apps and going out. But I do them.
I would also say, how do we achieve goals? We basically state, I want this goal and I'm going to make it happen. So the first thing I would do is I would decide I am going to have sex with 10 times as many women this year, and then tell as many people as you can, get some accountability and all of that. But you're really just declaring that you're going to do this. In other words, go all in, take this seriously, decide you're going to do it. Don't just talk in theory.
Yeah, I do think I will preface what I'm going to say by saying I think it's a silly goal. I've never personally really cared about lay count. Like, to me, I've never like, oh, I got to get to this number. I think it's like, I just want to like get laid with hot girls that, like, That's kind of how I've always thought about it. So I've never understood the obsession with lake count, but yeah, I guess not everyone's the same.
Yeah,
So,
neither do I, honestly. I mean, he could fuck 120 gutter trash. Would be easy. But I don't think that's what he really wants. I don't think he wants to fuck 120 fucking gutter trash girls.
Yeah, it depends why he wants this. If he's using it as a proxy for I want to get better with women, and this is how I'm going to measure it, then fine. But yeah, if he's just doing like a J-Mold style, I need to sleep with X amount, then yeah, it's not very healthy. So yeah, I agree with that. You need to ask yourself, like, what are you actually trying to measure here?
Yeah, what I was going to say is I do think, okay, if for example my goal was to like 10x my lake count, which would be really, really hard at this point, but if my goal was to just like significantly increase my lake count, I do think that the fastest way to do it is with dating apps if you have good photos. So I'll probably go really hard on that. But that I do think cold approach has other benefits. I do think you can typically find better quality with cold approach, and I think it's more fun. So if my goal was like purely lake count, just the only thing I care about is lake count, the girl has to be like not fat and that's it, I would probably go all in on dating apps. So I would probably have like 3 phones. I'd fucking be like running like a whole bunch of apps. I'd be like on every fucking dating app, website, whatever. But I don't know. For me, that's never been my goal, which is, again, I think cold approach has other benefits. I think it's you improve a lot more with cold approach. Because you have to go outside your comfort zone. I think on average, and there's a lot of exceptions to this, but on average, you can find slightly more attractive girls with cold approach, and I think that it can be more fun if you're doing it the right way.
Yep.
Can UMP and Andy give their philosophy on how hard they think it's okay to face app dating app pictures without being unethical or too catfishy?
Cool. So for me, yeah, look, I mean, society is changing a little bit, right? I think the more and more we move forward, the more and more acceptable it's going to be. Because I'm sure back in the day when like makeup came out, there's probably like a similar conversation maybe. But it's, to me, I judge it on like the reaction the girl gives me. So if I get to a point where I'm rocking up to dates and the girl's like, oh, this is not who I thought it'd be, and you're getting like some
you look
weird
different.
objection on compliance. Yeah, you look different. Then that's a problem, right? But I've never had that. So I think moderate amount of adjustment to your pics is acceptable. And I think more and more girls are kind of knowing that this is going to happen. It's becoming more acceptable. So it's the same idea with height, right? When I say 6'2" and I'm actually 6'1", the girl's never like, what the fuck, right? Like they know guys add like an inch to their dating profiles most of the time. So it's going to be the same with face apping. But I've seen some fucking guys at face app where it's like way too much, right? Because it's not just face apping, right? They'll then get like photoshopped images, and like there'll be guys going from like slightly obese to like 6 packs and like all this shit, tattoos down their arms, and it's like, okay, this is not you. Like if I don't recognize you, then it's a problem, right? So I think face apping's good, like especially things like adding a smirk, right? It's not actually changing who you are, but it's just fixing up the body language in the photo. I think all that's fine. I'm okay with it. If you get to a point where the girl's like, okay, this isn't you, then that's probably where it's maybe like unethical a little bit too far.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. If the girls aren't giving you shit about it or pointing it out, then you're fucking them. Yeah, good.
Dude, the only guys I've ever seen complain about like my level of face app is random people on the internet. I've never once had a girl.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I've never once had a girl bring this up. It's always random fucking dudes in the comments, right? And it's like, yeah,
I mean, guys, and you're coping, and you're a game cell and fucking everything.
Yeah. Well, like I will say this, I did a really interesting experiment a few years ago. It was a deepfake experiment. I did a whole video on this, but basically it was like a mini documentary. I wanted to see how much can you get away with deepfake. So like at that point, I actually did go way over the top. I straight up deepfaked my face onto a model's body. And at that point, I was legitimately having some girls be like, this doesn't really look like you, right? The funny thing is like still 50% of the other girls would still fuck me and not bring it up at all. So it just kind of shows you how much you can get away with, I think. But
yeah,
that's kind of when you're using like deepfakes, that's when you're at a point where you're like, okay, that's like you're pushing things way too far. But just a small amount of face app, like I've never once had a girl bring it up. So I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, actually, I think the guys in the comments actually care more about it than the actual girls you're matching with.
Yeah. Would you guys all agree Tinder apps are just pay to win, having to buy? No, I don't, because I think that even if you spend thousands of dollars on Tinder, if you have a shitty profile, you're not going to get anything. So I do think that like having Tinder Gold is helpful, but I actually never use boosts. I never use super likes. I just literally have the Tinder Gold because it's a lot easier because you can see who like you. So to a small extent, it is, but it's not like you're not going to make up for a bad profile with spending a lot of money. That's kind of my thoughts.
No, absolutely not.
Also, like,
I think it helps a
everything
lot
is
though.
pay to
Like,
win.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't think there's a problem that you can pay and get like better fucking matches, or essentially, like, I don't think there's a problem that you pay and then Tinder like essentially shows your profile to more people. As Alex said, like, you're not going to make up for it with a shit profile or vice versa. But yeah, there should be a problem that, okay, I get to pay and I use more super likes, or I get exposed to more women. And
I think it's a good thing you can
like,
pay and get more leads. It's like paying for ads, really.
Yeah.
Like, you give them money, you get more leads. I think it's a good fucking deal.
Yeah.
It's a good that you can do that.
And it's all pay to win anyway, bro. It's like self-improvement is pay to win. You pay for a gym membership, you pay for new clothes, you pay for accessories, you pay to get your dick done. Men have always paid for sex. Maybe just
club
not directly.
cover.
But dude, I think some guys are so worried about like the idea that they're paying for it. They're like, I literally remember this one dude, he had this hot chick in a mastermind that was down to come to his place, but she wanted him to pay for an $8 Uber, and he said no because he didn't want to seem like a simp.
You got to maintain frame, son. Maintain that fucking frame. Fuck that bitch.
I took the part of fucking someone else, and this is like a hot chick too. I remember that part. There's like some hot big titty Asian girl. And he was like, "Bro, I don't want to be a simp." I was like, "Jesus fucking Christ, man!" Like, I don't know. Some people take this shit way too far.
Yeah. The guy watched too many videos.
Zoom out and see the big picture, right? Like, this girl's not trying to fucking use you, right? She just wants you to pay for an $8 Uber. Just do it.
Yeah, guys are insecure about that.
If anything, she's on your team. She wants to have sex with you. She's reached out to you and said, "Can you please help me have sex with you?" And you've gone, "No, you fucking bitch, trying to use me." And she's like, "I literally was trying to have sex with you."
Yeah, I'll look into this William Costello person. I mean, the incel thing, I feel like I've covered it like really adequately, but I guess I can always interview this incel expert. What were the best dating app profiles you guys have seen most matches with hot chicks, and what you learned from their profiles? What do you guys think?
For me, it's been Tinder.
No, like I think he's not asking about specific apps. He's asking like profiles you've seen.
Profiles.
For me, it was actually this guy, Tony. I don't know if you guys know him. He travels around a lot in Europe. He's a DJ, but he has.
Oh yeah. I met him a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Maybe months. Yeah.
I learned a lot from that dude.
Yeah, he's here all the time.
I would say people with just good lifestyle photos. You know what I mean? Like Magic Fox on Instagram is someone. I don't know if he's on Tinder, but just having good lifestyle photos.
Yeah, I mean, I have to actually be honest. I don't want to suck my own dick, but I feel like my profile is actually like, from what I've seen, from like what I've coached from other guys, I feel like it gets a lot more matches than the average. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think good photos, good bio. It's pretty commonsensical. You'll get a lot of matches.
All right, let's do a few more questions. What percent of men do you think have one-way open relationships in the USA? Do you think it's more so than other countries? I think I think it's a really tiny percentage of men.
Yeah, super small.
I think it's probably less than some countries, right? There'd be like countries with polyamory and shit where the guy.
Oh yeah, like it's good to the Arab countries.
Yeah,
4 wives and shit. Yeah, amazing.
Well, that's why so many of these like red pillars are becoming like Muslim. Right? It's like
Islamic,
they've never read the Quran, but they're like, "Oh, I get to have 3 wives."
Yeah, exactly. It's a good selling point. It's appealing as fuck.
Okay, what else do we have? All right, guys, if you have any good questions, get them in now. We're just going through these in rapid fire. Let's go all the way down. Okay, this is an interesting question. Playing with fire. Do you think you need to stay gaming the girl even after closing her and having sex with her if you want to make her in your attention? Yeah, I've had this question. Go ahead.
Like, don't change who you are. Like, if you're acting, if you are a certain way at the start, and then you get with her, you hook up a couple of times, and then you just completely change your frame and turn into a different person. Yeah, then why would she stay? You've catfished.
Yeah, exactly. Because she fucked you for a reason. maybe something in your behavior or like whatever. Let's say it is something in your behavior and you stop behaving that way. Well,
Yeah, you've
I
lied.
think there's a bad mindset with the question. It's like, do you need to stay gaming the girl? Like, it shouldn't feel like that first night with her is you gaming her per se. Like, this should be the behaviors that you want to display with women. So if you're acting very assertive, so maybe you say, all right, listen, we're going back to mine, we're grabbing a drink there, let's go. That shouldn't technically feel like game to you. That should just feel like the behaviors that you're trying to implement in your life right now. So you should be assertive the next day when you order coffee at the cafe when you're by yourself. And the next time you see her after sex, you should also be assertive. So yeah, using your words, you should continue to game her, essentially, but it's a really bad, flawed way of seeing it. You basically should think, I'm improving my behaviors as a person, and this is who I'm becoming, and I'm going to continue that, not just because I got sex, I'm going to revert back to like the old me. You're going to continue being that with this girl, with everyone else around you, with every other girl, and in this relationship, and you're going to be very aware about, you know, the types of behaviors you're going to continue displaying.
Yeah.
So
I
there's
think a way of...
Sorry, go ahead.
I think a way of thinking about it that helps me and my clients is I basically phrase it like this. Self-improvement is your number one priority. Stick that right at the top. That's your mission. That's your goal. You're working on yourself. You're loving yourself. You're improving yourself. And then women are like second or third or wherever in that. So if you have that hierarchy, you're always going to pull it back to like self-improvement. And then you're not going to be thinking like, oh, I have to game her. It's like, no, I'm just the confident guy. I'm the dude who's working on his confidence.
I agree.
So there's also, I don't think a lot of guys know this, but there's a Reddit community called Dread Game. And the premise is like, how do you game your wife or your girlfriend, right? Because the idea is if you stop gaming your wife, she's going to leave you. And to me, that seems like the most exhausting, fucking annoying thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm hanging out with my girlfriend, I'm never thinking like, oh, how do I like it? I see it almost like if you're hanging out with your friends. Are you ever thinking about how do I game my friends? Like, no, you're just like, yo, what's up, bro? I want to do this. So that's like when I get into like, when I start getting to know a girl and like I'm in a relationship with her or like we've been hooking up for a bit, I generally like put the whole game thing like kind of aside because it's essentially part of who I am anyway. It just comes down to am I trying to accomplish something? At that point, it's like, no, I'm just kind of like having fun. I'm not really trying to accomplish anything like I have with my friends. Sometimes once in a while it does come back. Like if you have some kind of like conflict and you do need to use like, you know, social maneuvering to get out of that. But generally speaking, I think you have to like be able to relax with the people that you like and the girls that you're seeing.
Yeah, I feel like I totally agree with this entire idea that, you know, these attractive behaviors, that's just something that's part of you. It's just something that you do anyway. Like you're not gonna do fucking low value behavior no matter what. But what I'm also thinking is you still want to be aware of like what's going on within the dynamic, like what kind of frames are being set here and there. Like you don't go blind and like completely lose your social awareness just because, you know, you have this girl on retention now. Like you still pay attention to all these things. For example, if she is maybe, you know, trying to set some frame that is not going to be beneficial in the future, that you have the awareness to notice that and you know how to respond to that if you end up in a situation where that could be needed.
Yeah. Alex, what would they do if they were in that one Facebook group? So you're talking about are we dating the same guy? I did a video on that. Well, I'm in that Facebook group. And what do you do about it? Nothing. There's nothing you really can do. I would just ignore it and like not focus on that. Honestly, I think that's like the best way to go because you can't really do anything about it. You're not going to like sue Facebook or something like that. You're not going to like get the girl who put you in there and change your mind. So I would just like not even focus on it. That would be like my take. I don't know if you guys have a different opinion on that.
Bro, yeah, I'm thinking of creating accounts and putting myself in those groups, man. I think I don't think it's
this guy just goes too hard with the ropes. He's like he makes me call him daddy. He just spanked the shit out of me. He made me come like
right? Dude, here in Warsaw, there are these groups with girls where there are hundreds of posts about me and about David. Hundreds of posts. I thought it was way less, but apparently it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And I'm getting laced from that. I'm having girls hitting me up and being ready and they're curious.
That's what I mean. It's like this guy fucks me too hard. He's too aggressive.
They saw my
Tinder
live streams. They got curious. They came over and fucked. So I think I think it's just good marketing. I love it.
It's good marketing.
I want more of this shit. It's perfect. I want to set up a fucking billboard like out here. I will pay for it.
The guy your mother warned you about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You got 2 lace from them?
No, no, oh no, I got them more,
Oh.
more than 2, more than 2, because I have them like, well, it will be different. Sometimes they will say it after you fuck them, so I had no idea before, or they will say it, maybe when they message you or somewhere, like they could say like, "Hey, I saw your channel." And then I always respond with the same thing, like, "Hey, did you like, comment, and subscribe?" And then we go into talk and ask them what they think about the videos, and you find a way to go into like a sexual topic or whatever. But also if I go out to like clubs, I will get open with that too. So
Interesting.
they recognize it, yeah.
Alex, I'll ask again. What do you think about Greg stealing looks for all pics? I really don't care what pictures people use on the internet. It's like the least interesting thing to me ever. So I haven't thought about it. I don't really care. He can do whatever he wants. Andy, what are you going to have Chris from Good Looking Loser on?
Why don't you get fucking Alex to answer this question?
I don't know. We were talking about this privately a few days ago. I don't know. Hopefully soon, but yeah, seems like a busy guy.
Yeah. We've asked, bro. We've asked is the answer. We've asked like lots of times. He's just busy.
Yeah. I don't want to like get to the point where I'm like being too pushy. So I like try to
me neither.
face out my persistence, But yeah, I don't want to like.
You want to have that abundance mindset. You don't want to be needy.
Abundance mindset. There's other good looking losers out there.
There's other Chris's out there. Fuck this guy.
Yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you, Friendsgiving. Appreciate you. There's a PWF group chat. Yeah, there's the mastermind one. I don't know if there's like an unofficial one, but that's the one that we have. Okay. Had a friend with benefits need some time. A month after giving her time, she texted me saying if I was just cool with having sex with no strings attached. She was probably drunk texting. I said I'd be cool with that. No reply. Tips. What do you guys think about that?
Sorry. I mean, he was probably way too needy if she wanted time, I imagine. Right? Like just based off this, knowing a lot of students, it was probably a situation where it was casual. She probably just wanted it casual. You maybe get a little bit too needy. That's why she wanted some time and separation. And then, yeah, I agree. She probably drunk texted you and was saying something along the lines of like, look, can we just like fuck without it being too serious? That's like just my interpretation from this. It could be completely wrong with more context. But if that's the case, then I'd reflect on that. Ask yourself, what were these behaviors you're displaying that caused her to like push away? And maybe with this specific goal is, yes, be a little bit more casual with her. But I'd need more context, really.
I think you're right. I mean, why else would she be bringing up no strings attached after you already slept with her?
Yeah,
I don't see.
Alex, if you're in the mastermind buying the course, no, unfortunately, we don't have that option. Any tips for approaching university? I feel like I've answered this question so many times. At the end of the day, it's something very, very similar. It's the same shit. The only thing, if I was in university, I would leverage social circle more. Maybe join like a frat, but I don't know. I feel like it's the same thing, like as approaching girls in your day-to-day life. I don't see any big differences. I don't know if you guys have like a different take on that, but
I think we're pretty similar to what we described about the gym earlier, more or less.
Yeah. Okay, let's do like 2 more questions. Random question, but for Lindbergh, any reservation about living in Poland, EU, while Putin is about to start World War III? I want to visit EU for the chicks, but I want to be in the blast radius well.
I mean, I think you're fine if you're in a NATO country. I mean, I'm not worried, bro. Like, if you're here, it's like nothing is happening. Like, you don't notice anything, straight up. And I've, it's been over like a year. Like, I don't worry about it. Let's put it that way. I'm not worried.
Also, at the end of the day, if there's a nuke dropped on Poland, then the world is going to be in Armageddon days from now, because that's going to kick off a response. So if there's going to be something dropped on Poland, then we're all going to die. You're not going to be safe anywhere.
Exactly.
There's no way a NATO country can be nuked without America like experiencing like mass amounts of nukes as well as the whole thing escalates.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. Like, don't be scared about shit like that. Like, go to Europe if you want to go to Europe. You can't live your life being, worried about shit like that and scared.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't go to like the front lines of Ukraine, but like,
just stay away from Ukraine. Yeah, maybe don't go to Belarus either. You're fine.
Yeah, probably not Belarus. That's actually where I'm from. That's where I grew up. That's where I was born. Belarus. All right, cool. We got through a lot of questions. Is there anything you guys want to talk before we wrap up?
No, all good.
Cool. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Let's all shout ourselves out. So let's start with you, Andy. You want to shout out your channel and whatnot?
My channel is Kill Your Inner Loser. I'm fucking having fun, so I might live stream on my channel directly after this. So if anyone wants to come hang out with me, you can keep asking questions, and I'm ready to keep fucking going.
Nice.
What about you, Marcus? You want to shout out?
Yeah, sure. Marcus Wolf, Ultimate Man Project. You can find us on YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah, Alex, Ultimate Man Project. You can find us on Facebook. We have a mastermind group where you can get 2 weeks free. umpuniversity.com/free trial. You can get 2 weeks free.
Yeah, they have a lot of dope videos on the YouTube channel. So if you guys are interested in seeing like really technical cold approach breakdowns from like guys who actually know what they're talking about, I would definitely check that out. Some like really dope like technical breakdowns that I haven't really seen in that level of detail in most other places. Yeah, Andy, I might actually stay on for like another 15-20 minutes if you want to stay on here. And I might just do an open panel, I guess, because I'm also down to chat.
Yeah, I could also stay for a bit longer.
Cool. Let's do it. All right, so I'm going to open up the panel. I'm going to drop the link. All right, here's the link. So anyone who wants to drop on, drop on. I'm going to take a quick piss while you guys join.
So do we have to click that link? We have to go there? Or we're already fine? We're not leaving.
Yeah, we're already there. I think the guys have to click it.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So this chat is so interesting.
Yeah, bro, don't read the chat.
Yeah. I'm already in the rabbit hole. It's too late. I'm hooked. I'm reeled in by the fucking drama here. It's like a reality show in this chat.
What's up, Ron?
How's it going, guys? Hey, I had a quick question for the panel. What's your flake rate?
From where?
When say you've confirmed a date with like a chick, have you ever had someone like stand you guys up?
Ever?
Yeah. Oh yeah, but like they usually reschedule. Are you talking about getting stood up? Like you show up, she just doesn't turn up?
Well, no, I've never had that issue happen to me before, but like Alex had a debate with Destiny, and they were like getting into the weeds about it, and I'm like, I've never had a girl like that confirmed a day and time to meet me. I've never been stood up, so it's just. I mean, but I have a small sample size. Like the last time I spoke to Alex, maybe I was on like 15 dates. But now I'm at about like 23, and I still haven't had like a single girl like, stand me up.
That's good, man. That's actually really good. Like I
so
haven't
have a problem.
Yeah, that's good. Like I haven't been.
I think we figured out why that was, though.
Let's say if they would just flake and not reschedule and just be like completely silent. But I know I already have value and attraction. Then I'm gonna think, okay, there's some objection, so I'm going to send a message that's gonna get the objection out of her, so I can handle it and then meet up with her. There's always a reason why they're flaking. It's either like a lack of value, or there's an objection, or there's something logistical. If it's not logistical, then you're gonna have to run some more game to fucking get over it. If it's logistical, you just schedule.
I mean, like I've had a girl reschedule, but that was like before we even set anything in stone. Before we said, "Hey, we're gonna meet here at this time and whatever." Like we maybe had something like, "All right, let's meet Friday," and then like Thursday night, she's like, "Hey, something came up," and I'm like, "All right, that's fine. Who cares?" But I've never had where like a girl doesn't show up after I've set a time and a place, or if I'm picking them up or anything like that.
Yeah, but Ron, remember we're talking about this. You were saying that you only focus on the girls who are giving you high level investments. So the girls who are like low to moderate, you just like don't even bother making plans.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it comes down to.
So Alex, because someone in my chat said that you said that like flake rate was like 50% or something. Was that true?
To me that's
like
crazy.
So yeah, so when I say flake rate, I mean like it's a girl I'm talking to. Maybe I'm using the word incorrectly, but I mean it's like a girl I'm talking to where it seems like things are going well, and then she just randomly, like, we don't get a date. Basically, it could mean that she like.
Oh, okay.
It could mean that she
That's
drops
very
off.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
don't.
someone said in my chat, you said flake, and I was like, "There's no way you're getting flaked on 50% of the time." I was like,
Yeah,
because
I
to me, like
wasn't
my
buying that.
definition of flake was like, okay, let's meet up Friday. We're going to this bar. I'm coming over to your place. Okay, sweet. And then the girl either ghosts or is like, I can't make it. I'm not coming.
Well, I actually said it was 90%, right? But the 90% again is like if I'm talking to 10 girls, and this is also primarily from dating apps. I'm talking to 10 girls on Tinder, and it's going well. I'm probably gonna like actually meet up and like fuck one of them, right? That's typically what I've noticed. Also, it like really depends on where you are. Like when I've traveled around Poland, my flake rate is like 10% or less. Like Poland, like or like just Europe in general, people are way more reliable. When I lived in Texas, it was like lower. So a lot of it just depends where you are. Miami is like a very like flaky culture there.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I never saw that as a big deal because like, okay, well, I'm just going to talk to more girls. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think it's just different in definitions then. Because I was assuming like flake was they've set a date, but to you it's like, okay, we're chatting, there's some compliance, and then there's like no date that comes from it.
That's very different.
Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah,
different.
cool.
Then I
That
misunderstood.
explains it.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I would say if I'm just thinking like right now, we're going off dating apps. If I set up like 10 dates, I would say that like, yeah, I mean, I do think that like something like half of those will come through at the time. Now, some of them, another 2 or 3 will reschedule to a different date. So I don't know if that or not. So I'll probably like if I'm able to get to the point where we have plans, I'll probably meet up with the majority of those girls ultimately. But whether they will show up on the exact date and time we established, I would say like maybe half will at that point. Yeah, like just sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, sorry, can we do Tuesday or whatever?" I'm like, yeah, but technically, I've always counted that as a flake.
Alex, when you're saying you're setting up 10 dates, you mean like throughout the week or like for one day?
No, not for one day. I'm just talking
Okay,
about
all right, man.
putting up 10 days.
Dude.
And I also think it matters like how far out you schedule it. If you schedule like, hey, let's meet in 3 weeks from today, then it's gonna be far more flaky than if it's like, hey, let's meet at 8 p.m. tonight.
Yep.
No, you're
It
right.
also matters what you're scheduling. If you say, "Yo, come straight to my house, I'm gonna have wine," it's like you're gonna get a way higher flake rate than if you say, "Let's go out to a bar."
Which is exactly what I'm doing. I think also another factor.
I disagree with that actually.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, again, we're all going to be biased by our own filtering mechanisms. So for me, I'm not going to invite a girl to my house unless I know there's the compliance for it or it's like high compliant. Now, if you just took every girl that was like a level 7 compliance to choose a random number and you asked one girl to go to a bar and one girl to go to your house, you're probably going to get a higher flake rate on the girl going to your house. But I'm only asking girls to come to my house when I know it's solid. So the flake rate to my house is so fucking low. I'm getting a flake rate more if I'm like got a girl and I'm like, okay, whatever, let's just meet at a bar. We'll just fucking go from there and whatever. And then there's not that much compliance with it, and then she's more likely to flake. So I think you're going to be biased on how you actually filter and how far along you go for this. And as Alex said, like, okay, I got a super busy week, and I'm going to be like, all right, fuck it, let's meet next week and try to do it that way, or am I going to wait? So there's going to be a lot of factors here at play for sure.
Yeah, I never invited a girl straight over to my place except for one time, and that was on Valentine's, and it was like a last minute thing, and I'm like, no restaurant's going to be available at this time. Why don't we just cook and have wine at my place? And that was the one and last time that immediately was the first date at my place.
Yeah, I would also say just like kind of self-reflecting. One of the things that probably works against me is just because I have like a super packed schedule of podcasts. So I'll have like 1 or 2 nights free a week. And like, so if I'm texting with a girl on Sunday, I might not be free until like a week from now, right? It's like, but if I like back before I was like streaming and podcasting regularly, like when I had like, pretty much any night I could do. Yeah, I think that was definitely a massive advantage. But if you're like, you have one night where you can squeeze the girl in and she's like maybe sort of busy, but sort of not busy that night, like that's also going to kind of like fuck with you. But then you could just schedule like 3 different girls for that night and one of them will come through.
Yeah, it's going to make it more difficult for sure.
Yeah. All right, let me bring on Dennis. What's up?
Yo, guys.
Yo, Dennis.
Andy, I wanted to say thank you because that's a great point you made about paying for Tinder. Like all self-improvement is paying. Going to the gym you have to pay, like better clothes you have to pay. So that's a really good point, and it helped me like because I was kind of like that too. Pay for Tinder, like that, simping, this and that. But it makes sense now. So thank you for that.
You're
Yeah,
also
bro, at the
paying
end
with
of the
your
day-
time if you're not using Tinder Platinum, because you need to
Yeah.
spend more time to get more leads. And if you're earning like fucking, I don't know what people earn in the US, but maybe $20-25 an hour or something. Maybe that's a lot. I don't know. So, you work for a couple of hours, and you could spend like way less hours on Tinder. So it's almost that it's more expensive to not pay, in my opinion.
I agree with that logic.
Yeah, that's funny because the question was stated as like, is Tinder pay to win? It's like, that sounds fucking good to me. I pay and I win? Fuck
Yeah.
yes.
That would be good if it actually was that way.
Hey, I saw at the bank today, Alex.
Cool. BMAC?
Fresh from Fresh and Fit.
Oh,
And he withdrew like $27,000 in cash.
He probably
I
just
just
does
watched
that.
this. I'm just like,
He probably just does that like every day. He just withdraws money and puts it back in with like no reason.
and
Just
you know,
like
what's funny? Like the bank tellers are like all fangirls. They're like, "Oh my, hey man, how's it going?" And I'm like, Jesus Christ, they're sucking his dick so hard.
Jesus.
Are you talking about other dudes for like sucking up to him?
No, yeah, like the tellers, the bank tellers. But they were all like saying hi to him and shit. And so I walk outside and I'm like, that Rolls Royce is probably his.
Damn.
So
Yeah.
I have a question. My question is about like pulling girls from the club. I've done it a couple times, but the situation I usually get into is I open them, it goes well, but about like 10-15 minutes in they kind of get bored. So I'm wondering if I should like, how quickly should I like try to like pull them?
What are you doing in your interactions? Like typically.
Just talking. I'm a magician too, so I show like a magic trick usually to them, and then that that gets them like hooked, and then then just like generic conversation, I guess.
Okay, well, I mean, they get some hooked to speak on like a platonic level, but you're gonna have to spend some time building some value, building some attraction, sexualizing a bit, and then I would be thinking about pulling. So I wouldn't so much be thinking about, hey, I should try to pull after 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 25 minutes. Really, you have to pull when she's ready. Like, you don't want to do it prematurely, but I feel like if that's all you're doing, you're missing two very critical points, which is going to be building value and building attraction, essentially the same thing to me. And also, sexualizing, like, because if you get her horny, it's way easier to pull. If the girl is not feeling horny, I mean, it's gonna be much harder to pull. So you want to get that going. That could be verbally, it could just be through building sexual tension through your body language or through your subcoms. But yeah, I would definitely not want to skip those two parts.
Is there something in your magic routine where you can like sexualize it? Like, I don't know, like get them in real close, like come here, check this out, and then
yeah, there is one trick I do. Is like I have them sign a card, they bite on it, then I bite on one, and then I'm like, hold their hand. It's on my YouTube if you wanted to check it out. But yeah, the
like,
card.
One indirect kiss. There you go.
But I think you're right. I think I've just been having like too much like plutonic conversation and too much. It didn't have like an agenda, so that's why they probably got bored. But
I mean, I would say something like, hey, look, for my next magic trick, I'm gonna give you the best experience of your life. So something like that, and you gauge her reaction. If she's like super positive, then I would. Me personally, my style, I would start talking about dominance, or would start talking about orgasm. Because if she's receptive to the best experience of her life, she's going to be receptive to that as well.
The line I usually use is,
Wait, Dennis, you gotta fix your audio. It's like,
Oh, was that Dennis? I was wondering what was going on.
That is Dennis.
Yeah,
Brutal.
All right, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Damn.
Dude, I was just commenting on this. This is so funny. We're like answering questions like a massive value stream, and like 80% of the chat is just arguing about who's better looking. And I think Alex is looking right. No, I think like Ron Munson. No, but look at Grace Nose. Oh my god, but look at Angie. I have ever seen. This community gets gay every fucking day.
We live rent free in their heads.
You want me to go bald?
Oh, so funny.
I gotta shave my nose off.
Alex is hideous. Which one of us Stop fucking open looping me, man. Which one are you talking about?
That's gold.
Homosexuality level 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think if you spend even 1% of your energy thinking about other men's looks, then like you're doing something wrong in life.
Yeah. Hey, maybe you're in the wrong community. There are other communities if that's what you're into. You know.
Brutal. Yeah, it's some shit.
I keep asking questions. Oh wait, I keep asking questions.
Oh.
What's your question? PWF is not a black pill channel, by the way. I fucking can't stand the black pillars. It's just like you guys just.
Why are they here? Like, I don't know.
How we attract someone like
Lose my mind. Yeah. I just like I have a pretty big free speech policy, so I don't like really ban people unless they really do something fucked up. I guess like I'm the only channel that does that because everyone else just bans them because they're so fucking annoying. But I think I might change my free speech policy to have a massive exception. If you are a fag, then you're gonna get banned just for that. We're gonna have a so like no free speech policy.
over for Spicoli.
We got this dude. Speaking of black pillars,
Yo,
Yeah.
What's going on,
What's
dog?
up,
Hey.
What's your favorite black pillar?
favorite one.
Mog.
What's up, dude?
What's up? Chilling.
So yeah, so Marcus said he's down to do the competition with you.
Oh shit.
Is it
wait,
really?
who's coming to Miami?
Apparently Marcus wants to. My concern with Marcus is that he's decent looking in the face, and he's also over 6 foot. So it's not going to be the best
Very
metric
good looking.
for like.
Thank you very much.
Wait,
Wait,
can you
you're-
pause your mic? Someone?
Someone has massive feedback. Okay, wait, hang on.
Yeah,
Look,
it's Greg. It's
That
Greg.
sounds horrible. Yeah.
Greg, shut the fuck. Okay.
Hey, you know, Mark, he gained a lot of muscle as well, so it's yeah.
No, I'm not concerned. You guys are too pre-obsessed with the male gaze. The concern is that it's not going to be as good as game versus looks as someone like Austin, who's clearly very average to below in the many aspects. With you, they're just going to write it off to your deep voice, Aussie accent, 6 foot, good frame, right? So it's not going to be good enough to put game versus looks to the test.
I mean, it doesn't have to be games versus looks. I mean, we can just go have some
You just
fun.
want to shoot
Well,
the shit.
actually, I mean, it's not
Yeah,
too
yeah.
bad, right? I don't think it's too bad because if you take if looks was truly the only thing that mattered, I think it's almost a better way to compare.
I mean, yeah, but it's going to be. I'm thinking it's going to be closer.
Oh, that's a good question. Who's better looking, me or you looks?
Yeah, fuck. What if Marcus is
Yeah,
also better looking?
No homo, don't kick me off, Alex. But Mark ain't a bad looking dude.
He's not a bad looking guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's good
Thank you
looking.
guys. I like coming on this channel. I get so much validation with the black pill guys. They just tell me how good looking I am.
Marcus, there's only one reasonable solution. We're gonna take a massive thing of acid. We're gonna dump it solely on your
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
We're gonna make you horrendous.
You make Marcus gain 20 pounds of weight, then it'll be better.
Yeah. You didn't answer my question, Looks. Who's better looking? Me or
Yeah,
you?
I'm better looking than you. You don't even
Oh,
have
fuck
colored
you.
eyes. Yeah, you're not 6'3". Sorry. Take them off. Take them off. Yeah.
That's what feedback.
But you have, you're decent, so it'll be
I'm decent.
interesting.
I'm
Yeah.
not at your level of looks, but at least I'm decent.
Yeah, you're all right. Plus, you
This
have
guy's
Aussie
saying
accent.
Mark
deep voice.
has big dick syndrome.
Yeah, yo, the accent
Yeah,
goes
definitely.
a long way in Miami. Let me tell you right now.
It
Yeah,
does. Yeah, it's very helpful.
he does have certain halo effects that I think will play out for him.
Thank you.
Yeah, Marcus. Even if you can't pull any girls, it seems like you could pull looks because he's
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's funny, like, no one's fucking with them tonight. We can always play Xbox.
No, seriously,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of liking the black pill community when they just tell me how good looking I am. That's one
But
advantage.
it's set in like a roundabout weird neg.
They're like,
Ah, bro, don't worry about the name. I'm taking it.
like
as a
you're
compliment.
attractive, and so everything you've done doesn't count. Like,
I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Right,
It's
right.
not the game you have, it's your looks, bro.
Well, Ron, you
It's
showed
funny
me.
because the girls told me the opposite thing. Girls are usually like, "Look, I wasn't that attracted to you physically."
no.
but-
Here's how they phrase it, bro. Here's how they phrase it. You're not the normal type of guy I go for.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
they
that's
phrase
the
Oh,
other way.
yeah,
Girls are a
that's-
little
yeah,
bit
what
more
What
about
she's
us?
saying
Yeah,
is she's usually into black chads, but she's making an exception for you, Mark.
Yes,
Exactly.
I'll take
She's-
it.
Oh,
She's
but
allowing
actually,
the
Mark,
white chat.
Mark, you fucked a lot of girls like that who said they only go for black guys.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of Swedish girls will tell me
Or
that.
just-
Like, I only
yeah,
date
yeah.
black guys. Yeah.
As long as you're black, where it matters. That's what matters. my brother.
I am actually.
Then
Be better
you're
now.
chilling. You're chilling.
Looks for
Look for Phalo.
This guy doesn't like me because he's not.
No, I
quite
love
at
you,
my level.
looks.
Nah. I think Marcus mogs you though, looks. To be honest,
It's not even close.
I'm telling you,
Not even
man.
close.
Yeah, I don't know.
Take
People in the
Marcus
chat are
was
saying
great.
better looking than you look.
Marcus has graciously agreed to chop his dick in half to make this.
What does he gotta do? Just take the challenge. Austin Summers doesn't want to do it, so take Marcus.
Since
Why
Andy
doesn't
is the closest one to him in Australia, Andy will
Yeah,
be
I don't know
performing the
why Austin
operation.
doesn't want to
It
do
will
it.
be on OnlyFans.
He's afraid. I mean, Austin is 5'9". Keep in mind, he'd be like a child next to me.
I
With this
I
guy,
don't
it's
think,
like
don't
he's-
think
I
he'll
don't think he's
beat him.
afraid at all. I just think he has like no interest in like black.
I mean, that's just like a nice cope, don't you think? This guy approaches women all the time. This is his job. He just knows it'll look bad for him when he loses, which is fair. You know, it's
I think
fair.
he just has no idea who you are. He doesn't care about you.
I mean, you can look at it whatever way you like. This is what he does for a job. I mean, look, Marcus is not afraid to do this either. So, I mean,
Hey, I'm just warning you. The chat is saying I'm better looking than you looks. So
I mean, the
I'm
chat-
just letting you know what
Easily
the
Marcus
community's
mogs you
saying.
look.
the chat has no
I'm just-
idea about ratios,
I
angles.
don't know.
Yeah.
Bro. I don't know. I'm just telling you what the chat's saying.
Marcus,
No.
Marcus, flex,
Yeah.
flex for us.
Yeah, I actually got a really good idea.
Oh shit!
Over.
Holy
Game
shit.
You got more
over.
muscle than you look.
There you go.
That's it, man.
Damn.
I think they
Yeah.
like you, Marcus, because you're like a
I'm-
reasonable human.
Dude,
You know?
I'm becoming black pilled
Become
actually.
Yeah.
Alex, that channel's gonna be ultimate black pill project. From now
Ultimate
on.
I'm down.
I'm getting too much validation from.
Yeah, fight this
these
game
guys.
shit. We're blackpilling now.
Lovely.
Dude, I actually had a really good idea. Is David coming with you to America?
No, he's not actually.
David would be the perfect person.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
dude, that would be
But he's
fucking
lost a lot
great.
of weight now, so
That's
it's
true. Yeah, but
yeah, it's
still,
like,
but still, yeah,
in the 220s.
would have been better before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If
Yeah.
you hit him up like a year ago, yeah, that would have been perfect.
Yeah, it would have been a really good challenge.
Yeah, that would have been like the proper fucking.
David, we need you to take one for the team. We're gonna take you an all you
Yeah, we have to
we
do some normal weight.
sponsored
Yeah,
by
Yeah, you
PWF.
gotta regain the weight, do the challenge, and then
Yep.
lose it again.
exactly. It's like
Yeah,
a boxing
I mean,
competition in reverse.
I'll tell you
just
what.
gotta-
I'm not against doing it with Marcus. Like, I would do it. My concern is it's not going to be good enough for game versus looks. I think his looks will carry him as well. So that's why Austin is better, because he's not good looking. So it would show how much this
What
quote-unquote
if
game
what if we
matters.
did looks? What about this? What if it was like me and you, and then I got one of my students? So like we'll find a student in Miami or like that we can fly in, and you can do it with us.
What, you want me to do it against your student or you?
Well, it can be us three. It can be us three. Like I don't want to miss out. we could find my ugly student. And,
Oh, that's gonna be so brutal.
that's
Yeah,
not-
if you'd like to do that, you can do it.
we could do something like that. We'll figure it out, but I think it'd be fun, man.
You got to
Yeah.
find a student that's okay with being called ugly.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. You go up to him, we're like, listen, we're picking you for
used
the
to it, don't worry.
challenge. We're picking for you for the challenge because your genetics aren't quite there. So I hope you don't mind. Imagine. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we'll suss it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
we'll
could be
fight
fun.
some ugly guy.
When will this happen if it happens?
It will have to be like in June period where I'm not
Yeah.
coaching. So there's probably like a week in between.
Looks, what is your like borderline homosexual assessment of UMP Alex? Like, is he too attractive for this, or
Alex, I saw his,
What
he's
are my
decent.
ratios actually?
Yeah,
I don't know anything about that. It's
UMP's a
actually-
fucking Chad. No, he doesn't.
He's
act
decent
like
looking
that.
as well. It's funny, these two game guys, the reason why I have more respect for Marcus is because what he says actually works due to his looks halo, right? A lot of these guys will never get that attraction, you know?
the reason I respect you, Marcus, is because you were born with better genetics than these
Right.
other-
Unironically, that's like somewhat
That's,
true.
uh,
Look at those
Alright.
bicep genetics, man. Holy
Yeah,
fuck.
sorry, boys.
Damn.
No, I mean, dude, do you know what's funny? Looks, when I first started game, I looks max. So I started taking steroids, and I was probably another like 5 kilos of muscle on than I am now, or maybe more. And it was the best looking I ever was, and I got a lot of initial attention. Right, girls would come up and ask, like, "Are you Ziz?" I don't know if you know, like the
I know.
fuckers,
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
look like him, right? I had so many girls coming up being like, "You look like Ziz." I got all this initial attention and attraction, and I just couldn't convert shit. I didn't know what the fuck. I was too nervous and shy. So I know I can see, like, I remember the amount of attention and how much it helped. But I needed to be able to develop behaviors beyond that to actually fucking do anything.
Yeah, I mean, you just have
Good looking guy
to
and walk around
have a
doesn't-
normal convo with them and invite them over. I just feel like that's
Well,
not.
no, I could
yeah.
have a normal convo, and but it wasn't enough for me, especially at that point.
Best looking guy. I'll mock everyone. Doesn't cam up.
Wonder why.
I mean, you know how I am, paranoid.
So what's Alex out of 10? What do you rate
No,
him?
I don't want to
Alex
keep commenting on this because I like Alex. As
Just
a
do it.
person.
Just say a rating. Just say
Yeah,
it.
just you think
You
Alex?
won't hurt my feelings. Yeah.
You think,
I think-
Alex cares?
Dude, I'm used to being like
They're talking about
like
Oh,
a
which
fucking,
Alex? Lindbergh or
I'm
UMP
used
Alex?
I'm used to being like a
Oh.
5
Oh,
or
the
6
UMP.
out of 10. So any number,
I assumed
I'm
he's
totally
rated
happy with.
Alex
Yeah, I think-
BWF before, right?
So I think UMP Alex is around a 6. He has like niche appeal with like kind of more bad boy, but he doesn't have hair on his skull really, which I think is a
Damn.
mistake. I think he should grow out his hair.
Would
Because
you
hair
take
is
on
life.
Alex then? Would you take on Alex then?
Lindbergh, you're a bad boy.
I mean,
No,
you have to
make
understand this.
yourself even worse.
you
Going
need to
against
be
Will.
punished. You're a bad boy.
I would
Alright,
do
let's-
anyone here. It's just that it won't be as stark. It won't show like game versus looks. As long as everyone has lower SMV than me, then I'll do it easily.
Okay. All right, then maybe Alex. I didn't think you
Actually,
rated
the
him
only
6.
person I probably wouldn't
crazy.
do it with is probably Ron because I think he's the only one like near me in terms of appeal.
Oh,
So,
thanks,
like,
man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm flattered.
Wow,
They have
that's
a
fucked
strong
up, man.
romance.
It's fucked
Right,
up. I
he's
can't
got
believe you
good
just said that in
bones.
front of me.
I mean,
I can't
it
wait to
doesn't-
see you again and tongue your butthole
Feeling
again.
Take him to Rosa Sky.
You actually went there, huh, Ron?
Yeah, last week. Yeah.
I love Rosa Sky.
Yeah,
It's legit. It's a great place. It's
Yeah, it's a
so
nice
What I
fucking
place.
good.
heard.
Love
Lot
it.
of hot chicks.
I can't
Look,
get that.
what would you rate yourself? You're like a 7 or 8 or what
Like
do you
at
think?
7.5, 8 around there.
But then you
An
got,
eight. Holy
you
shit.
got you got a 1.5 point lead over.
What do you
Lindbergh.
rate Chad Pill?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I would do it. I just don't think it will be as stark. Like we need to see like sub 5.
Well, I mean, if he
reactions.
if he blows you out, then it'll be very stark, right?
I mean, that's like
Yeah.
are
Yeah,
we-
you should take on that.
we're talking about
actually-
Santa Claus right now. You know, like blow me out, please.
6.
Yeah.
I would in that I would bet I would comfortably bet hundreds of dollars on Lindbergh in that competition.
Oh, I'd bet a lot more.
Wait,
than
Lindbergh?
hundreds.
Is that Alex?
Fucking yeah.
I would
Alex.
put a lot of money on Alex.
It would be fun. It would be fun.
I
It
mean,
would be fun to do.
prepare
a
to
challenge
lose
like
some
that.
money.
I don't
then.
think I've ever done it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun. I mean, you have to keep in mind, I'm not much of a cold approach guy, but you just shoot the shit, talk to a girl, easy money. If she likes your face.
All right,
Just
let's
go
do it.
in. Hey, just go in. Have a good face and shit. Just take care of
Exactly.
yourself,
Have a
man.
good face and height.
Yeah.
Personality and height
I think
didn't.
looks didn't
Yeah.
see
What
you
happened to the
video.
Chico profile picture looks?
I want people to be able to recognize me. If I put Chico, yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I bet we could get like tens of thousands of dollars actually in bets, like if that competition happens.
Oh yeah, I'd throw a lot of money on that. To be fair,
I'm surprised. Yeah. You guys are so confident in your
Yeah, I'd feel comfortable putting like 1,000 on that for sure.
I'll put
Wow.
money too.
Okay, well, am I getting like a
All right,
piece
let's
of
make it
this?
happen.
Can I bet myself?
Yeah, let me bet as well.
Yeah. Well, you need, in order to bet, you need someone betting the opposite, right? So it can't just be everyone
Yeah.
betting the Lindbergh, then who's going to pay that out? So
Well, then I'll even get
yeah.
better odds. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I find
yeah,
that's
you,
like
you can do
comedic.
the odds thing, yeah.
That's
It'd be
interesting.
fun.
Lindbergh, are you going to come to America too, or is it just
Yeah,
Marcus?
yeah. So I haven't booked my flight yet, but yes, in June. Yeah.
Okay. Where are you guys planning on going to?
Austin, New York, Toronto.
Wait,
Pretty
so
much.
would you consider these guys like top 5% game or something? Like, what would you consider them?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Okay.
it's been a while since I like actually met up with them, but assuming that they're as good as they were in 2018, then yeah, definitely top 5%.
Oh no, way better than 2018. Holy shit, it's not even comparable.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would put them in the top 1%.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that after I beat them, there'll be like no excuse, right? Like no excuse you guys can come up with, right?
If you,
Dude, I'll still be Zurich.
dude, I've said this. If you beat Marcus
Cool,
or Alex, I will extend this to Alex that I will definitely have to heavily reconsider every single one of my beliefs. But I'm extremely confident
Okay.
it won't happen. But if you were to do that, yeah, that would be.
I mean,
that-
even if it were like close, let's say it's like a point or two away, like would you still say that? Because these guys are supposed to be supreme
Yeah,
world
bro.
class.
If it's close, we'll put. I'll change the name of my channel to Black Pill.
Yes, Black Pill
Ultimate
4L.
Black Pill project.
Ultimate
Yeah.
Black
yeah.
Pill project.
Yeah. We'll
Yo,
make
can
it
we
a
get the
lead
link
up.
for Indian PE?
Because
Oh,
this is kind of like the last challenge I want to do, someone against someone who's going to be a good challenge, you know? And then I can like not do this anymore.
They can retire.
Yeah, I'm gonna retire.
Yeah.
This is, at first I thought I was gonna retire
Retire,
before,
yeah.
but it was
Yeah.
murky. So this will be like the final.
You got your retirement fund ready, looks?
After I win all these bets, I will. Yes,
Oh shit. Okay.
it'll be fun. I mean, this will be a great video. I feel like, game versus looks, the importance of it. Although I wish Marcus, Marcus was like 20 pounds heavier or like a bit shorter. It'd make it more interesting. Because I think his looks will carry him in a lot of interactions.
If this is in June, I mean, maybe I should just get really fat for it.
Do it.
Why don't you just dress absolutely horribly? Like
actually, I do that, but it makes no difference. Like,
I mean,
I've actually tried that. I've actually tried that where I just try to dress as shitty as possible and go out in day game. But I actually feel like it almost improves my subcoms because I almost, in a way, I almost feel like more confident when I look like shit.
Like you don't give a fuck.
Yeah, because I feel like, fuck yeah, I'm relying only on my fucking subcoms and everything. I actually feel more comfortable dressing like shit.
No. So,
Marcus, do you mind if I pull up like a adversarial question because I think we.
Oh, of course, yeah.
All right, cool. I just don't want you to feel like you're like being ambushed or something. How's Marcus the best? So this is a question that I've heard asked like thousands of times. I'll get my take on it, and then Marcus can give his take on it. How's Marcus the best when he coached Jake and Jake was the worst of all time? All right, first of all, Jake was not the worst of all time, right? He lost by half a point. That's not
okay. Hold on.
Whoa, hang on. Let me just
let Alex finish, man.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the first. Second of all, as far as I understand, they never even did like a real coaching call. He just gave him like free tips here and there. Is that correct, Marcus? Or
yeah. It was max 1 hour where I said, hey, bro, if you want to call me up and like ask me anything in terms of like how to game the competition. And in that hour, we just came up with a strategy that's going to be best for like getting numbers. Because it's like, look, I've got 5 minutes. How should I address this? So I was like, if you only got 5 minutes, you want to go in strong, have good subcoms, create a little bit of emotion, and then DHV about things like your job and travel. And then on that high point, go for the number. So, I mean, if anyone expects you can be amazing after an hour call with any skill in the world, I'd love to hear it. But yeah, I gave him some advice on the hour, and obviously it's not going to be enough to completely transform someone's game. So
it's not going to be enough.
I mean, it's also like making the argument that like my tips don't work because like the first time I gave Greg tips, he wasn't like he wasn't still crushing it, right? Like it's a process. Like it takes like a good amount of back and forth. Like that's just any kind of.
This is like a really retarded thing when you think about it. That's like like you took fitness coaching from this trainer, like you've been working out, you went to the gym for one session and you're not jacked. It's pretty much the same thing.
This guy's no idea what he's talking about. He's not jacked yet. Yes. And in game, it's actually the opposite because when you actually start trying something new, you tend to be a bit worse until you get better, right? So it's the whole idea, like to give a better analogy, like if you're learning piano and now you're learning, or like typing, for example, this is a good analogy. I've started learning to like touch type. So I type randomly really quick at like maybe 70 words per minute, a shitty way. I've started to try to like touch type now, and I'm at like 20 words per minute. It's like I'm a third as good as I was, but in a few months, I'm probably going to be much better. So sometimes learning a new technique is going to be a little bit flawed at first as you learn it. So it's normal to assume that.
Yeah. So, yo, Nathan, there's way too much background noise.
You night gaming or what?
I'll mute every time. What's up?
Hey.
I'll mute every time. I don't have to talk. But yeah, like if looks goes against Lindbergh, I am betting $3,000.
Wow.
Yeah, let's go.
There we go.
$3,000 that Lindbergh will win. You can clip this, whatever. Cool. I'm down. $3,000 on Lindbergh.
That's like a gold coin. Holy shit.
I mean, bro, I've seen you game in 2018, 2019, and I know I've heard from so many guys that your level is like 10x better. I have no doubt you're gonna beat looks. But if anything, actually looks, by the way, Lindbergh is taller than Mark. By the way, just so you know, I want to make it fair because looks is gonna look at Lindbergh when he meets in person, and he's gonna be like, "Whoa, bro, like." Bro, this is fair.
Wait, how tall is Lindbergh?
Lindbergh is taller than Lindbergh.
I'm 184 centimeters.
So I would like to claim I'm half a centimeter taller.
Shut up.
We gotta take this to the stadiometer.
You and I both know. You and I both know.
So
Measurement.
You and I
I'm
both
either
know.
6 foot or 6'1".
184 is
Yeah.
like 6.5.
Oh, one sec.
Yeah,
I'll make
Alex
sure
is
that there's no background noise. Yeah, Mark. You and I both know Lindbergh is tall already.
Damn.
I'm not allowing this.
Damn.
I will accept same
Maybe,
height.
maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit.
All right. I mean, given that, looks, would you want to go on a speed dating romantic date with Mark, or sorry, not speed dating, like code approach competition?
Well, look,
With
I still think he has lower social market value. I think he has niche appeal, so like bad boy type vibe. Some girls will eat that up. However, I just don't think it's going to be reflective of game versus looks, because I also think he's decent looking. The true like perfect experiment would be someone like Austin Summers. You guys get it? Like, it really needs to be.
I
like,
understand, but Austin is. I don't know how many times I have to tell you. Austin
know.
is like. I mean, dude, it would be really nice if like fucking Mia Khalifa showed up at my doorstep and gave me a blowjob, but it's just not happening.
Wait, you're comparing? That's like completely unreasonable, right? But this one is very reasonable.
but
What
I
if
mean,
I get
this is
that?
the reality you have to accept in life.
okay.
What if I just get
Looks.
fat for it?
Okay, looks. You've seen me in person, right?
Yeah,
How tall do you think I am?
you're like 5'11", maybe.
Yes. Okay. So me and Mark are the same height.
No way.
Yes, we are.
Damn.
Mark, do you
hear that,
confirm?
Marcus?
Do you concur?
Yeah, true,
Yes.
true.
There you go.
Damn.
Me, Mark.
Boys, I love you all.
Me,
I
Mark,
gotta
Swift.
bounce. I got a call.
Me, Mark, Swift, Villancic, we are all the same height. Lindbergh is 1.5 inch taller. For sure, Lindbergh is taller. Lindbergh, I mean, obviously you know that too, but yeah. If anything, I think if you are talking about strictly height, Mark would be a better candidate because you're talking about like Lindbergh being like the bad boy wife, etc. But also he's actually taller than me, Villancic, Mark. So yeah, you make the decision. But either way, I'm putting $3,000 on either Mark or Lindbergh.
All right,
Wow.
well,
Clip
let's
this.
make sure this competition actually happens. Like, let's not go overboard.
Obviously, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what I was gonna say is, I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, I guess I don't know. It would be fun. I'd like to see it.
It would be interesting.
Oh, and I want to comment on the Jake thing as well. Like the close score is not reflective of the interest and desire at all because he was getting pity numbers. So we can't use that. And his game wasn't working because they didn't like his appearance. That's what they don't understand.
You can't say we can't use the rules of the competition as merit about who won. I mean, like what? Like,
Yeah,
are
there's
we-
no question. Like,
Man,
I'd
if
fucking
it
defer
was
him.
about
Like,
genuine desire or whatever, I feel like the only metric really is like, are you fucking the girl?
well, yeah, but we weren't
no,
allowed
no,
to.
no one, no one fucked any girls, right? So
Well,
Yeah.
by that-
So in that case,
Well-
at best is even.
wow. I mean, we're talking about who won the comp, and then it was just like not
Yeah.
even close. We can't take the girls home. That wasn't like allowed.
Okay.
if it
Well,
were,
it
that'd
should
change
have
the
been.
game.
It wasn't
It
allowed.
should have been.
How dare
I
you
know.
try
I
to
agree.
get
It
laid?
should have been. I actually think,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like they have to be there recording. You know, they didn't like. We literally talked about that beforehand. We're like, we can't bring girls out because they're.
Ah,
recording.
yeah, because someone could actually just pull the girl and just say they fucked her, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have to
there's-
take a photo in like the hotel
There's
room and
too
stuff.
many technical issues with like the pulling thing because we can't be filming inside the apartment. First of all, I don't even know how you would pull that off. Like a random guy just walking in with you guys. It's like, who the fuck is this guy? Oh, this is my friend. He's just going to be hanging out in the bedroom.
Yeah,
Like-
it's also like it gets 10 times creepier. So
And then so I mean, look, we can change the metrics. By the way,
We should change the
I think
metrics.
Luke,
certainly.
you will agree that I was not heavy-handed when it came to the metrics. I primarily let you guys decide, and I was just like kind of mediating. So I didn't really have a dog in that fight.
Right,
I was
right.
just like it was you guys were the ones that decided on the metrics, primarily you, honestly. So it's kind of like
Well, when
if
okay,
you
I
feel
want-
the metrics are unfair, that's fine. But
yeah,
like,
we certainly need to change it. I mean, we'll need to change it if guys are like pressuring girls into numbers because originally when I thought of the number thing, I thought it would be like genuine, right?
Bro,
But-
there was no pressure. Jesus.
Pressuring
Oh my
girls.
lord, bro.
I think you guys should count polls because you can film them walking out of the venue together, and that says a lot.
Right, but then we can't look at look at closes.
actually, something that I
mean,
used to do, like when I was
like, that's
when I was practicing a lot, and I just want to get as many like reps in as possible, I will get to the point of getting the girl to say yes to getting pulled and getting fucked, and then I will be like, hey, actually, I can't go. I need to stay with my friends, but let's meet at the end of the night. So you get them to agree to coming home and fucking, but then you give an excuse so you can stay and keep gaming. You could actually do that in a competition. How many girls can you get to agree to fuck? And then you just be like, hey, look, I can't go because my friends or what the fuck, I have to stay.
Well, I mean, how would you word that in a way that would be clear? Like, how would you word that?
I mean, actually, in some way, getting the girl to say, like, yes, I want to fuck you, and getting her to agree to leaving the club and going to your place.
So she would say, like, something along the lines of, I want you to fuck me, and we should leave. Okay.
Yeah.
Or just having like you walking outside the venue together. I think that would be the best.
You could do that too, and then you could be like, "Hey, look, fuck. Actually, I can't. I have to stay with my friends."
We have to change the venue because the venue that we were at has a half-hour line. So if you walk out, you have to wait in line for half an hour, and that delays the whole process.
That was the wharf, yeah.
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 Brutal.
Yeah.
Okay, quick questions.
This guy
super chat. To all the members on the panel, what's your take on red pill, black pill? What things you like to see in the manosphere? I did a video on this 2 days ago where I covered that. I think all the pills are kind of cringe. I think they all have elements of truth, but they're also all becoming like basically like what's the term? Like a religion, so as to speak. It's like so fucking just obsessed with whatever pill they feel they represent. So yeah, I don't think anyone should identify with any pill. I think people should think for themselves. And I think if you agree 100% with either political party or a pill or anything, then you're not thinking for yourself. And
exactly. You're not thinking for yourself. Yeah. I would like to see like less hardcore ideologies. That is something that I would like to see, because I think, as you say, like there are truths to all of these, like red pill, black pill, game, whatever the fuck. I like to just take the best from everything, just maximize whatever the fuck I can. That's my approach.
You should check out the video I did 2 days ago, but I broke down why I think that more like kind of extreme content is being pushed, and why like content like ours isn't really being pushed as much during the algorithm. I have like a whole theory on that I did like some research on, but yeah, like
it's probably bad for us.
That YouTube algorithm incentivizes like more extreme type of content.
Yeah.
Yo, Alex, don't you think, or UMP Alex, don't you think this would look poorly though on your brand if you lose?
Yeah, it would. So I'm not gonna lose.
He thinks he can beat like any dating coach now.
Well, I can beat anyone with low SMV.
All right, name like 3 dating coaches you think you can beat right now. Go.
What's his name?
Well, actually, he could probably beat a lot of them.
Okay, not counting like Coach White Pill or like fucking whoever. Like,
I mean, like I would say, like he can beat AMS. He could beat Austin Dunham. Austin Dunham is pretty short. No, okay. I thought he was short.
No.
Oh, okay.
You think he's short? Okay, no.
He can actually beat a good amount. He can beat Justin Mark. He can beat
Jay Waller for sure.
No, not John. He can beat.
I can beat you easily.
You think so?
Oh shit!
What are you talking about? You're bordering like.
Shit.
Yeah, I've told you.
To be fair, you won by like what, half a point?
Dude, see, this is what I mean.
And you quit early.
Here we go.
Dennis is speaking the truth.
The close score is not.
You agree though, if you do the contest with Alex, you won't quit earlier again?
No.
Ooh, mic drop.
Can you agree to that?
Yeah, we'll have a set number that we'll do, and we'll maybe have like a few days. So
isn't that what you guys had last time? But
no, it wasn't like set in stone. Like we were talking about it beforehand, like with Jake and
you
stuff.
guys did that with Jake too, and you still quit,
bro.
Yeah, yep, that's what happened.
So irrelevant, man. Like if you watch,
it shouldn't be relevant when you make the rules. I mean, like the rules were very much.
I won't quit.
Oh my god, you were pretty much the ones who were. Yeah, exactly. You were pretty much the one who tried to make these rules, but then you're the one who ends up saying like, "Oh, I was pretty sick. I couldn't talk to any more girls. You heard my voice." So yeah, bro, like, okay, you cannot say both those things. You should say either of those things. But like you saying both of those, just now we can say like, okay, well, cool. Then let's do that challenge of Lindbergh or Mark.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I'll do this one, and this will be like the final one I do against one of these tier dating coaches.
Yeah.
By the way, I also think that like looks is super important.
Yeah,
Let's
I
go
agree.
here.
I don't
I
think.
really think it is.
Of course.
But the
it
funny
is.
thing, funny thing is, Lindbergh, you also have to agree that when you were your fattest,
Yeah,
I've seen you fuck the hardest.
yeah, dude, it was actually
I've not seen you.
Yeah.
I have not seen you fuck like the girls you recently fucked, right? Obviously, but
Yeah.
when you were the fattest, I've seen you pull the most girls, hottest girls,
Yeah.
and the next day, you smell like shit. You smell like a girl came all over your shirt. You wear the same shirt,
Yeah,
and
because
then
I
like
didn't
the
want the
next
shirt. I had like squirt on it and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and then when you go to the nightclub, the girl is like, "Hey, he smells like sex. Why the
Yeah.
fuck does he smell like sex?" That girl, the
Dude,
British
that
girl in
girl, I met
Australia.
up with her again in Barcelona like 2 months ago, and she
Yeah,
kept
you
talking
told me,
about
man.
it. Like, you smell like sex that night. I'm like, yeah, I fucking remember. But yeah, dude, it was actually funny because I
And he
was
was
fat as
so
fuck.
fat. He was so
I have a
fat.
photo from that. And by the way, it's
Damn.
because of your Indian food. I was eating that fucking
Spicy Indian food. Oh my god, bro. Like
fat
that's
as fuck. But yeah, dude, I pulled Playboy models. I pulled the other blonde model that I
bro. The girl you became Eskimo brothers with Justin Bieber. Come on,
Yes. Yeah.
Justin Bieber,
No,
Eskimo brothers. That girl.
That's what she said.
Here's how I honestly think I would like stack up. So I think like Lindbergh and Marcus would beat me in a cold approach competition. I think Austin would beat me.
Any day.
I think that I would beat looks, but it would be a very close competition.
Oh
I don't
my
think
lord.
it would be a blowout. I don't think I would be able to like blow him out like I would with like Ganstar or something like that. So that's the only thing that makes me apprehensive is that I feel like that one can go in a direction. I don't feel like I have like a massive fucking advantage over him, but I do think it would be very close. And I do think I would probably take home the prize unless he pulls some like shady shit and quits early or whatever. But yeah.
Oh wow. You'd be the type of
Yeah,
guy
I
getting
think
pity
it's going
numbers
to
while I'm
be
out here making out
Looks
with girls.
versus Alex
But
confirmed.
you're just gonna say like any number I get is a pity number. That's why
clearly.
I have like no desire to do anything with you.
Well, we'd
Looks,
have to change
take
the
them
rules
on.
to like be more about like desire, right? Make
How are we gonna objectively evaluate that?
Well, no. I just told you. So we can look at makeouts, the girl touching you, asking you questions, or like pulling her home. Like these are the kind of metrics we can look at.
I think getting the girl to agree to fuck and agreeing
But
to
the makeouts thing you didn't want initially. Like let's not
Right,
forget.
but yeah, I think in hindsight, I think it has to be there because that shows like a girl like clearly liking you. Because a number with no response is practically useless. You know, it means she didn't like you enough to respond to you. So I don't think that should have like any value at all after further reconsideration.
Yeah, another rule is you won't be able to blur your face.
I think like makeouts would be good because that shows genuine desire and also like walking out the club together. I don't think phone numbers is a good metric because like it's really easy to get phone numbers and it doesn't really mean much. She can give you a phone number but she won't text you back. So I feel like that's not really a good metric.
It's true. I don't know.
True desire.
But yeah, I'd definitely do it with either UMP Alex or Marcus. No question about it. I would be down to do it.
Awesome.
I think
Let's make it happen.
No face.
I might not be in Miami during June, but I will travel to Miami for this competition just to look at it.
Yeah, my goal is just to end PUA once and for all, and then I'll be gone. Don't worry, you won't see me anywhere. I won't be bothering you with the black pill points.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow, that's
like a mic drop moment.
Cringy like mindset in itself. Like I want to end this community. I don't like
because it's so
taxing.
So
I hate them so much.
Imagine relying on game. Absolutely.
Yes, imagine, bro.
Sickening.
Like it's so bad for your everyday guy who doesn't know why he's failing. Like,
Bro, what's really bad is the shit you guys push. That's what's really bad.
Bro, like you guys
fucking spend the whole chat jerking off and trying to decide which of the guys is better looking. And then all you guys do is bicker, complain, and whine. How is that like not any?
Well, the focus should be on realizing it's not what you're saying to the woman. She just doesn't like you from the first place. That's much more freeing than thinking it's something within your control.
It is freeing because you don't have to take any responsibility.
Well, that's assuming that you can take responsibility in terms of attraction, and that's where you guys have it wrong.
Yeah.
You can't. Force it.
Oh, you have no clue what you're signing up for, looks. But I'm very happy that you said that. I'm very happy that you're down to do the competition against either Lindbergh or Mark, because
Or
you have
Austin
no
Summers
clue what
if
you're
he
on.
comes around. Either
I'm
either one of them.
just curious.
Yeah, but I see that you're. Yeah, but you keep saying that Austin Summers, if he comes around, but like, okay, well, two people are ready to do it. Just do it with them. That's fine.
Sure,
Hey,
sure.
looks. Can we concede though that Indian PE brought the hottest chick that night we saw?
You mean?
He was. Come
I
on.
mean, she was cool, but she's like a seeking chick, right?
I mean,
It is what it is. I'm just gonna hold my tongue on it. I don't care.
She's hot as fuck. That's all I know.
I mean, you're gonna say that I paid the girl, but I can show you my fucking bank receipts and shit like that, and you can happily see it. And maybe, like you can ask me for any kind of fucking proof. I will show it to you. But I guess you will still continue to cope.
With a girl from a normal dating app, not one where you have to pay $100.
Bro, she was there right there. I didn't pay shit. I just paid for her Uber. She came to me.
Looks, don't you pay for Tinder Premium? Like, what's the difference?
He does, but then that's
Dennis,
actually beta boxing.
Dennis, ask him if he uses FaceApp. Like, see if he'll tell you honestly.
I mean, looks, is there a difference?
You use FaceApp, bro. Come on. You do not. You have zero right to fucking criticize.
That's just false.
Wait, would you say there's a difference between paying $100 for seeking arrangements and paying $20 for Tinder? Like, you think that's a difference?
Dude, seeking arrangements is meant for you to pay a woman. That's literally what it's designed for.
Lindbergh.
Tinder is just for.
Lindbergh, let me ask you. Lindbergh, let me ask you this. When we were in Vegas, and of course I fucked a few seeking girls, but I also fucked a few cold approach girls. Do you remember that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for the seeking girls, do you think I paid them?
No.
Well, dude, of course he's gonna say that. Look, it's fine. I'm not gonna comment on your scenario. I'm just interested in setting up a challenge against the top PUA.
No, it's just like because Ron asked that question. Just
Dude, I think they're down, bro. So we can start scheduling.
Yeah, there's so much down.
The question is where we're gonna do it. Lindbergh, do you think you guys would be able to come to Miami?
Maybe, but fuck, we have to check the schedule and everything. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to promise that now. That we can go to Miami, but it's very, very, very likely.
Possible.
Yeah. But I want to ask just one question to Lux. From where did you get the belief that you can't create more attraction with a girl?
Well, that's just like living in reality. If you look on like guys approaching women in bars, immediate disinterest, turning around, you notice that in the competition as well. So, and if you look at dating apps, only the top men get matches. If you look at what women say behind closed doors, if you look at how they give preferential treatment to chads, so many things in the world are reflective of this, and people turn the other way.
I agree with that. They do get preferential behavior treatment. I do agree with that, but it's not like you can't, build it up. If you're starting here, you can't build it up.
It depends on. So here's what it depends on. If you pass the looks threshold, right? If you're not a viable mate in her eyes, I don't think there's anything you can do. So
well, actually, I do agree with that. If she's completely disqualifying you from the start because you look like shit,
right? And that happened with Jake when these women walked away from him. Didn't say a word. Now, if you no, it was certainly that.
But don't you think that would happen to Alex a lot? If Alex,
of course, it would. That's why I think it's like comedic
versus Lindbergh or Marcus.
I think it's comedic how much confidence they have in themselves. It's comedic, honestly. So that's why I want to put it to the test.
What are you talking about right now?
Well, specifically with you, Alex, because you know where you stand in terms of your SMV. So I think it's silly to say it would even be.
But I've banged hundreds of girls. Why would I care about what some random dude on the internet thinks about my looks?
Well, it's just comedic, like from my eyes. For someone like Alex and the Marcus guy, I think it would be closer, but it would still be a victory. So we could just run it, Let's talk more actions.
I mean, it's just so easy to fuck girls. That's why I'm like,
exactly. It's super easy.
Looking. Like, it's so easy because I fucked so many girls when I was fat and looking like shit. So I know, like, because
I've just put on 30, 40 pounds. Put on 30, 40 pounds.
Actually, if you spoke to me like in January, I was 102 kilos. I'm 87 now.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make it more interesting, since game is so like the most important thing, then you should just put on 20, 30 pounds for fun.
Well, actually, I could do that, but then I have to go through the process of losing it again. Actually, let's do this in the middle of. I can actually do that in the middle of the winter sometime when I'm bulking anyway. Then okay.
Right. Do it when you're bulking.
I have a question for
Alex
about game. So, how do you like run a nightclub? Because I'm not sure like how much time I should spend with a girl and like go to the next set. Like it's going well. Should I keep talking to her, or you know what I'm trying to ask? Like how much
Yeah,
time
yeah,
should
yeah,
you
yeah.
spend with each set?
Well, I wouldn't be thinking so much about how long I'm spending with them. I want to first of all be thinking about like how compliant are they to like sexualization, that kind of stuff. Is she giving objections, or is she giving you like a lot of disinterest, or is she actually like going along with everything you're saying and everything you're doing? Well, in that case, you shouldn't have to spend that long. Like you should be able to pull pretty fucking soon.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that hard to fuck girls.
I mean, even in the beginning of the night, if she has a lot of compliance, I should still try to go for the poll.
Well, let's say that she's there with her friends and she's like, hey, look, I can't leave my friends. You're like, hey, no problem. Let's meet at the end of the night. Grab a number, move on.
Yeah.
Like if you try to stay with her all night, first of all, it looks maybe not so good. It looks maybe not so good. Maybe
Well,
you're a little bit.
I mean, if she's with her friends and you stick around, you mean, right? Like if she's with her friends and you stick around, you're lingering around.
Yeah, and you like linger for like fucking 5 hours their entire night. They're like, hey, where are your friends? Like you come here by yourself and you're just gonna fucking hang with us all night or what? And also, like, look, that time could be better spent with another girl, most likely, because if this girl can't be pulled now for X amount of hours, then it doesn't make sense to stay there. Just grab the number and do some other shit in between. Actually, you could take her number, go pull another girl, fuck her, come back to the club, pull another girl, fuck her, and then you text the first girl and get her to come over after the club. I mean, that would be like the ideal.
I mean, I've met up with girls that like ditch their friends to go.
Yeah, some girls will do that, and if they're willing to do that, fucking perfect.
Yeah.
If they're not willing to do that, then I would be like, all right, no problem. Number, we'll meet later. Long story short.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, and if she's really into it, even if their friends object, like, no, you just met this guy. She's like, fuck off, like. You know, I know what I want.
Yeah, girls will do that sometimes, and that's amazing. I love that.
And look, so what are you going to do with the age thing? Because I don't want that to be a point of contention.
I know. That's why I was saying, like, you know, obviously Austin is not interested, but these guys.
Isn't Lindbergh the same age as you? Wait, no. Lindbergh, you're 28, right, Lindbergh?
I'm 29.
Wow, yeah, I'm 23.
You guys are close enough.
Close enough.
Oh wait, he's going against Lindbergh. I thought he's going against the other Alex.
Well, either one really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm an old man now. Yeah.
He'll take them on, both of them on.
Filled with regret. I
mean, it's just false. I know where they stand on the scale, so it's not concerning to me.
I love it. I love that confidence. Keep at it. Keep at that confidence.
I'm telling you, you put me against Ron, I'm not gonna have that same level because I know where he stands, right?
Okay, that's fine. I'm not talking about that. Like, dude, you don't give me hypotheticals. Just give me the reality. The reality is like you are extremely confident that you will mog Lindbergh and Marcus Wolf. But what I'm saying is like amazing. Keep that confidence up. I love it. I really love it.
All right. Anyway, I want to wrap up soon because we're coming on 3 hours. I do want to see this competition, so PWF will be happy to host this and provide all the video and whatnot if we can do it in the Miami area. But you know, if you guys meet up somewhere else, even though I can't be there, I still think it would be.
And betting as well. Betting.
We'll figure something out.
I'd have to like look into like the laws on like being like a sports booker. But yeah, like generally. As long as it's not like legal or something like that, yeah, I could do that. Or unofficially, maybe. But yeah, cool. Anyway, fun stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I think we covered a lot of ground. I mean, we started off pure value, then we got into a little bit of black pill shit we talk about every single fucking month for the last 3 years. Do looks matter, bro? I think they matter 100%, bro. I think they're only 50%, bro. But yeah, you know. Good time. All right. Anyway, appreciate y'all. Check out UMP's channel. Check out Andy's channel.
That dude mogs Alex. That picture mogs Alex. My God. That is a mogger.
That picture mogs
Tyrone Light.
That is a good
not even
guy,
close. Sub 3.
That is
he
a good
mocks
looking
me,
guy.
to be honest. Jesus.
All right, yeah. It's always good when other men talk about other men's looks. Good stuff. Keep
Good
having
night.
it. All right. Anyway, we're going to be back on Wednesday. I'm going to be debating a feminist, since I know you guys don't really care about value. You prefer drama and conflict. So I know like fucking 500 of you will show up for that. So looking forward to it. Also check out the video that we did the day before. I think we got a lot of good text game videos. So make sure you guys don't miss on that. Again, the streams are like 50% value, 50% drama, but generally my videos are like 90% value. So if you guys want one more value, then check that out. I appreciate y'all and have a good night, everybody. Take it easy.
Thank you, man. See ya. Bye, guys.